Welcome to ScreamDrafts, the podcast where experts and enthusiasts competitively collaborate in the creation of screen-centric best of lists. I am Draft Commissioner Clay Keller. No co-commissioner this evening. My good buddy, Mr. Ryan Marker, is otherwise engaged. He is the manager of the Aero Theater in Santa Monica, California. They are hosting a film festival these 2 weeks, so he is tied up, but he sends his regards.
You would think that his trailer full of beefy men could do the job for him.
I also like how you were thoughtful enough to not mention that it was Beyond Fest, a rival genre festival to the one that we're at today. I like how thoughtful you were to do that, Clay.
Ryan has made the conscious choice to pick Beyond Fest over Fantastic Fest. See, this is what I was trying to avoid, Billy.
Let them fight.
Hey, I think if Ryan's going to be a son of a bitch, we need to call it out.
Apologies to Luke. Ryan, as I said, sends his regards, and he wanted me to convey to our drafters here that he has the utmost confidence in you, and just to know that you're all special and loved, and he preemptively agrees with all of your picks.
Well, that's
and that Twitter will agree with them as well, and that this is all going to go in a way that will please and delight everybody.
Well, that's Ryan's first mistake.
Twitter has never been sweatier, y'all. I have been shocked at how people are invested in this draft.
Yes.
They sure are.
People are invested, and as they should be. This is ScreamDrafts live from Fantastic Fest at home. I just saw recently Billy Ray and Graham in Austin for the in-person part of Fantastic Fest. That was a delight. We're so honored to be invited to be a part of the online portion here, where there's all sorts of great films and great events like Scripts Gone Wild on Wednesday. There's a party tomorrow night, all this fun stuff happening virtually. So I want to thank up top the great people at Fantastic Fest for inviting us to be a part of this. The theme this year at Fantastic Fest was sort of apocalyptic. So we were thinking about what would be a great topic to do. And I was thinking different apocalypse adjacent things. And I thought that the most fun version of global destruction and death and doom and dismay is death from above, death from aliens. I thought alien invasions would be a fun thing to do. Looked at some of the possible topics. I'm sure you guys, our drafters, discovered this as well. This is a much deeper bench of movies than immediately occurs to you at first glance. All different eras and all different genres and all kinds. Like, I'm very excited to get into this, and we're going to get right into it. Usually there's more patter up top. Graham, as you pointed out, we like to check in with co-commissioner Ryan, check in with his 45 muscle-bound dudes that live in his trailer and are his personal cheering section. We're skipping all of that today because Ryan's not here. And we're going to get right into it. Billy Ray, you again. I've been seeing your ugly mug every fucking day.
I know. I feel like that we should change the name from ScreamDrafts to this motherfucking Billy Ray month.
This motherfucking Billy Ray. Yeah, there's been a storm of brewing. There's been a storm of Brewton here in
good job there,
the month of October.
Damn.
Yeah, we should change it. Yeah, from ScreamDrafts to ScreamDrafts starring Billy Ray Brewton. Like when they
with a picture of me doing something
show.
Like
you're here again. And joining you, it would not be a horror-themed live show if we did not have these next two people with us, some of our absolute favorites, actor, filmmaker, and the host of Fear HQ on Twitch. Clarke Wolfe is here.
Woo! Hey, y'all.
Howdy. Welcome.
I'm so happy to be here. I didn't get to go to my beloved Fantastic Fest IRL this year. It was a tough choice that I literally spent 2 weeks trying to decide on. But, you know, I played it extra safe this year. That's fine. That was my call. However, I am gutted and jealous, yet so proud of the entire Fantastic Fest team. And I have been, instead of having too much FOMO, I've actually been living vicariously through all of the photos and tweets. And I love my Fantastic Fest. And I am drinking my favorite Deep Eddies grapefruit vodka that I first had at Fantastic Fest. And if you have ever seen me wasted off my ass at Fantastic Fest, it is thanks to the good people at Deep Eddy's grapefruit vodka. So I'm ready.
All right, so Clarke has set up her own personal Fantastic Fest there. Hey, look, battening down the hatches and getting all your supplies together is certainly something that happens in a lot of these alien invasion movies. So Clarke is prepared. And of course, we got to have Graham here. Graham Skipper, another actor, filmmaker, and a host of Down in the Basement on Spoon. Graham, are you ready to get invaded?
I'm ready to get invaded. I wanted to treat this like an actual Fantastic Fest, so I'm not wearing pants currently. And I am thrilled to be here. I actually screwed up and I made a list of 13 because I thought, well, you can't possibly be only 11 that we're drafting because there's just too many. But I'm very excited. I'm very nervous. I don't know at all what Billy Ray or Clarke are going to do. So normally I feel like I generally know, like Brian Cogman, I can figure out what he's going to do.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can figure Brian out.
When I think of Brian Cogman, I just think of simple.
Just
and like
very simple.
Like,
very, like just easy chess, right? Just kidding, Brian. I love you, Brian.
Just kidding, Brian.
We're kidding.
Are we?
Are we? I don't know. But Billy Ray and Clarke are two legit wild cards that I just don't know. I almost totally screwed up and lost out on putting Texas Chainsaw on the 70s horror draft with Clarke, just because I could not read her. And it was thanks to Billy Ray that he knocked some sense into me and made that happen. So I'm very excited about tonight. I'm also very excited about this new development that the Scener chat wants to know if there's going to be a drinking game involved tonight, which I think there absolutely should be. Does anybody have any ideas on what that could be?
Yes. Anytime the word alien is mentioned, we take a drink.
Absolutely.
Oh,
no.
Rufus has to get a bath tomorrow morning. I can't. I got to get up tomorrow.
We don't let Billy Ray be in charge of making up the rules for drinking games.
Anytime we make Clay shake his head in whatever fashion, we have to take a drink.
See, that's a good idea. He just shook his head just now.
Drink!
How about this? Every time there is a veto, everybody finishes their drink.
Ooh.
I can get down with that.
Okay, I'm into it. I'm into it. I
Okay.
might need to get more beers during the intermission, but yes.
We may, if you have to run off and get beers, you can do that. There must be, I'm sure a lot of our fans are watching. Thank you for joining us here on Fantastic Fest at home. I'm sure that there are new people as well, and you're probably confused thinking, why did Fantastic Fest program the show that seems mostly to be about shitting on Game of Thrones executive producer Brian Cogman? And I'm going to explain it to you now. ScreamDrafts is a movie ranking game. Our guest GMs, Billy Ray, Clarke, and Graham, are going to be alternating placing picks on the single definitive best of list for the topic of alien invasion movies. So this is one list that represents everybody here, represents the show, represents the world entire. This is the definitive list of alien invasion movies. There are different, what Ryan calls blessings. There are vetoes. There are veto overrides. There's all kinds of fun stuff. We're going to get into the rules in a second. And of course, there's the new rule tonight, which is that anytime a veto is used, we're going to finish our drinks. There are potentially going to be 4 vetoes in play. So this could get interesting. Well, it's going to be interesting regardless, but we're going to talk about the eligibility parameters tonight, and then we're going to get into the rules, and then we're going to get into the ranking. Like I said, as I was kind of looking at the eligible titles, I realized, God, I love most of these movies. Like, this is just a fun topic, I think. Billy Ray, when we were discussing, and I kind of brought up, what do you think about alien invasion? Is that what you thought? Did you think immediately think this was going to be fun?
I immediately had about 10 like stone cold bangers that popped into my head. And then when I started looking at the list, I realized that was more like 30. Like, there are so many films that could easily make a top 11 list for alien invasion films from so many different decades. And yeah, I mean, whittling it down to my top 11 was legitimately Sophie's choice. Like, I was literally sending babies to die in the death camps. Like, it was bad. But I feel like I did a really good job, and I feel like my list represents the spirit of Screen Drafts, Fantastic Fest, and what I call Billy Ray Nation out there.
BRN, Billy Ray Nation.
Only you call it that, right?
Oh yeah, no one else does. It's made up in my head, so it only exists in my head.
Clarke, alien invasion movies, is this like a subgenre that you'd ever given much thought to before, or is this something, are these movies you tend to enjoy?
I'll give a little hint as to how some of my list is going to go.
Yeah.
I'm a 90s kid, and as I was going back and thinking about some of the truly formidable movies that made me fall in love with storytelling, genre, blockbusters, etc., a lot of them featured aliens. And I don't think, we talk a lot about, if I could put my little nerdy cap on for a second here.
Oh, please. Leave it on all night, Clarke. It looks great on you. Yeah.
But we talk a lot about, like, when we think about horror in the 90s, we talk about how there wasn't a clear direction. Like, you can point to very specific subgenres for certain parts of most decades. In the 90s are a bit adrift. But when I was thinking about this just over the last handful of days, I really realized, like, aliens so hot right now in the 90s, and I find that fascinating, and I think that bleeds over into the early aughts, but I think that is a result of 9/11. So we'll get into all of this, I'm sure, but I really had a good time kind of just pondering the why. But yeah, there's a lot from my formative years that I have on my list.
Yeah, the 90s. I wonder if that had something to do with the advancement in special effects and like CGI in the 90s, that they were suddenly able to create more like mobile alien type creatures, and people were having fun doing that. Yeah, I mean, alien movies have been around since the beginning of movies. Like, one of the first movies that people point to as kind of creating the popular form is the Méliès film Trip to the Moon. I mean, that's not an alien invasion movie, but we've been talking about aliens forever. Obviously, the original H.G. Wells War of the Worlds story goes back to the late 1800s. So it's fascinating that we've been telling different versions of these stories for over 100 years. And obviously, there's a bunch. I'm curious to see the decade spread. Clarke, you were talking about the 90s. There's a lot in the 50s that was like really big. I mean, there's science fiction was big in the 50s as allegories and metaphors for different current world, fears and events. Certainly a lot of Cold War fear, a lot of fear of the other, a lot of fear as the world became more globalized, a lot of fear of, other peoples and nations suddenly having access to your land. And allegories for how that fear is oftentimes destructive and unfounded. But then going into the 80s and 90s, seeing how that morphs, what they're addressing, and if some of them are just plain old just having fun. There's some titles in here, I think, that didn't occur to me until some people brought them up on Twitter that could really make this an eclectic list. Graham, before we got on mic, I was already I intuited some wild card picks you might try to bust out, and it was getting in your head a little bit. Would you consider your current list that you're looking at to be characteristically eclectic?
I mean, yes and no, because there's so many stone cold classics in this overall list anyway that I feel like even looking at the number 11 and thinking, oh, what's the wild card pick I'm going to do? It's like, well, is there really one? Like, they're all so good and they're all so vital in this particular genre that, I think obviously there's going to be some personal love of movies in play. Like, there's a couple films that when I was looking through this list, I was thinking, gosh, these are movies that I really, really loved that have a special place in my heart. Are they objectively better or as good as some of these other ones? I don't know. So I think that less than this being something of, people throwing out like a true wild card, it's going to be more about personal preference just because the field is so varied. I mean, it's right now I've got 19 movies here that could all easily be in this list. And I legitimately don't know what I'm going to do. And I also legitimately don't know what these two are going to do. So this is, it's nerve-wracking. It's exciting. And we're, I don't know, anything could happen tonight.
Can that be the motto from now on? It's nerve-wracking. It's exciting. It's Screen Drafts.
It's Screen Drafts. And actually this month it is Scream Drafts.
No, how do you say it?
Scream Drafts. This aligns.
No, Clay.
No, how do you say it normally, Clay?
Scream Drafts.
There it is.
There we go. There we go.
I don't like to do that in front of a live audience. I get nervous. This aligns beautifully with our month of Scream Drafts. I actually just got, these are brand new. This just came in the mail today. I'm wearing my Scream Drafts.
Oh,
shirt.
awesome.
Can I order that?
Can you what?
Can I order that on your Cafe Press page?
You can. It's on TeePublic, but
Right,
you certainly
TeePublic.
can. You certainly can order it.
Good job, Billy Ray.
and-
Well, I'm going to do that right now.
I hope everybody does.
Ordered.
A whole month of spooky stuff. We'll tell you what's coming up in the month of Scream Drafts after the intermission. But right now, I want to get into the game. Hey, if you're following along on Scener, our buddy at Fantastic Fest, Mr. Luke Mullen, is muted, but he is monitoring the chat. So if you have any messages you want to convey to us, he's going to be looking at those and sending them our way. It seemed like Graham was on top of that as well. So maybe Graham can be our
well, I'm just seeing
conduit.
what Luke is chatting to us. So
Yes.
I'm happy to be a conduit from Luke, who is also a conduit. Many conduits, just like you might find in a spacecraft, Clay.
It's like
just-
the human centipede, but with knowledge.
It's a human centipede of knowledge. That could be
Wow.
the other tagline for Screen Drafts. Thank you, Billy Ray.
Or for Fantastic Fest, for that
Or
matter.
for Fantastic Fest. All right, let's get into the eligibility parameters. We touched on it a little bit. It's alien invasion movies. We already did a draft. The second Screen Drafts ever was Visitors from Another Planet, and that was just kind of a broad, any alien thing. Only one or two invasion movies made it on that list. It was mostly movies about friendly aliens. We have no room for fucking friendly aliens tonight. Screw those guys. Dump out your Reese's Pieces. E.T. has no place here. We're talking about aliens with ill intentions. And I think Billy Ray, Clarke, and Graham are all on the same page. So I don't anticipate any commissioner overrides coming, but you never know. It could always happen. And
You never know, Clay.
You never. Well, actually, Graham, you are here, so I'm not gonna count my chickens before they hatch. Yes, we've got comedies, thrillers, dramas from the 50s to the present day. Actually, one of these movies that's eligible, Clarke has placed on the top of a previous list. So I'm curious to see if that shows up, if any other adaptations from that seminal work show up. There's a few actors that have made a couple of big alien invasion movies. See what kind of representation they get.
Now, here's a question, Clay. I have a question.
Yeah,
so,
please, Graham.
so there was a film that on Twitter, there's been some consternation about.
People were
in terms of its
tweeting about
eligibility.
what they thought should be on the list. Yes.
Yes, and so I just thought if we could talk about that one film to determine its eligibility. Is this okay, Clay?
Okay.
Or do you want to hold off
very
on
quickly? And I will give you because we're time is money. We're on the clock here. I will give you a quick up or down on your eligibility question.
The Day the Earth Stood Still?
Down. Absolutely. The original, absolutely. Okay. I don't remember the remake very well, but the whole point.
Nobody does.
Nobody.
Hey-o.
Not even Scott Derrickson.
No, the whole. I forgot that he directed that. Fantastic Fest family.
Love Black Phone, Scott. Love Black Phone.
Black Phone kicked all kinds of ass. Yes, no, the original Day the Earth Stood Still, the entire point of the movie is that Klaatu is a friendly visitor who's trying to avoid disaster. See, that one scene where the bigger robot, what's his name? He zaps all of the bat. And that's more defensive than anything. Yeah. No.
Okay. I just wanted to get it out of the way. Lots of people wanted it on
Graham,
here.
thank you. Good idea to get that out in the open before we continue. Okay, so Day of the Earth is still not eligible. Everything else that's eligible, we'll discover as we go along and play the game. Let's get into the rules of Screen Drafts. Screen Drafts, as I said, a serpentine style draft. Our guest GMs will be alternating, placing picks on the single definitive best of list for today's topic, which is alien invasion movies. This tonight is what we call a mini mega draft. Usually we do 7 title drafts. If we go beyond that, we call it a mini mega. If we get to 20, we call it a mega. This is going to be 11 titles. So this is a mini mega this evening. 3 drafters, 11 titles, and the placement is going to look like this. If you are drafter A, you're going to make picks 7, 4, and 1. If you are drafter B, you are going to make picks 9, 8, 5, and 2. And if you are drafter C, you will make picks 11, 10, 6, and 3. So 2 people get 4 picks, but they're weighted further back on the list. 1 person gets 3 picks, but all of them in the top 10, all of them weighted higher towards the number 1 spot, including the number 1 spot. The way we determine the draft order is with a trivia round that I have prepared. If you win trivia, you get to decide. You get first pick of your draft position. If you get second place in trivia, you get second pick. And if you get third place in trivia, you get what is left over. There are blessings in this game, little power-ups that our GMs can use. If you are drafter A, you get a bonus veto. If you are drafter B, you don't get anything because you get 4 picks and they're slightly better than the picks that C has. If you are drafter C, you get a bonus veto override. So let me explain what these things are. Everyone starts with 1 veto. The veto is used thusly. Let's say Billy Ray makes a pick that Clarke disagrees with. She can veto it. It knocks that pick off of that spot, but not out of the game. It goes back into Billy Ray's virtual deck of titles and can be played by anyone higher up on the list. So that is how a veto is used. Everybody starts with 1 of those. Whoever ends up as drafter A is going to get a bonus. So they will have 2 vetoes. The veto override works this way. Let's say Billy Ray plays that movie. Clarke disagrees. Clarke vetoes it, but Graham says, I agree with Billy Ray. That ought to be there. Graham can veto override Clarke's veto. It explodes. It shoots a beam of light down from the heavens, and it evaporates that veto. That movie that Billy Ray played would be locked in, and we would move on to the next pick. So you can use that to save another person. You cannot use a veto override to save yourself. People often forget that they have the veto override. So I will probably remind whoever gets it a couple times that they have it. It's always very dramatic when it is used. It is not always used, but it's always dramatic.
Let's just say too that for people who remember the Freddy versus Jason draft, those veto overrides can be quite contentious, right?
Very powerful, especially when used in conjunction with evil intent.
That's right. Apologies to Rebecca and Elric.
Very powerful indeed. Okay. In the mini mega drafts, we follow a veto order, which just means that whoever is higher up in the veto order has to decide for the people who are lower down whether or not they're going to use your veto. We kind of do the discussion in that order, and that order follows the trivia win order. So if you win trivia, you get first pick of draft position, but you have to go first in the veto order, which means that through the course of the game, you are going to be in the hot seat first in terms of vetoing or not vetoing. So there's lots of little double-edged swords here in terms of the strategy. Billy Ray, Graham, Clarke, you're all veterans of the show. Do any of you have any questions about the rules? Yes, Clarke.
I do.
Yes.
Can you remind me how we buzz in for trivia?
I absolutely can. I will remind you of a couple different things. So in terms of making picks, I will prompt you. You will direct message them to me in the Zoom chat, and then I will announce them, and then you will explain why you picked that movie at that spot. In terms of
remember to direct message play all the time. All the time, people screw this up.
Direct message straight to me. When you get to the trivia, you're just going to shout out the answer.
Just shout out the answer. Copy
no buzzing in, no saying your name, just shout out the answer.
But there are rules.
There are rules to trivia, and I'll get to them in a second. The other rules in this game, we're not doing commissioner predictions because Ryan was not able to join us. He's very, very busy there in Santa Monica. There's something called the commissioner override, which means that if one of you plays something that I think strays too far from the eligibility parameters, I can strike it from the list without penalty. I just have to replace it. And then that will mean that the GMs don't need to waste a veto on something that ought not be eligible. There is the mooch rule, which means that we are not considering made for television movies unless there are some hyper famous seminal ones, and all of the guest GMs agree that we need to include them. Does anybody want to make the pitch for including television movies?
Hell no.
No.
All
No, sir.
right. There we go. Easy peasy. Those are the rules. I'm going to give the rundown of the order tonight one more time. Drafter C gets 11, 10, 6, and 3. Drafter B gets picks 9, 8, 5, and 2. And Drafter A gets picks 7, 4, and 1. And we're about to do some trivia that determines that order. Okay. So there's not going to be that many trivia questions. Whoever gets the first question right, you sit back, you think about what draft position you want to pick. Then we're going to go to the next two. Unless I came up with a real stumper, there will be 2 trivia questions. Okay.
We have to wait for you to complete the full question. Yes.
These are the rules of trivia. Yes. Thank you, Graham. I'm adrift without Ryan. I don't know what to do.
You are beyond lost.
I am beyond lost. And I would say,
but you know what,
fantastic.
Clay? No, you are
Graham?
fantastic.
Oh,
You are fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. These are the rules of trivia. There are 2 of them. I already explained how you shout out the answer. The other rules are these. There's the Alex Trebek rule, rest in peace. That means I have to finish my entire question before you answer. If you step over my question, you are disqualified. The other rule is the Lord Bullington rule, which is derived from the film Barry Lyndon, directed by Stanley Kubrick, who made a seminal space movie. I guess it's kind of up in the air whether or not it's an alien movie, but it's certainly not an alien invasion movie. Nobody play 2001: A Space Odyssey, please. Stanley Kubrick directed this movie called Barry Lyndon. There's a lot of duels that happen in this movie, and they follow this very strict format of if one person fires and misses, the other person gets an opportunity to fire before the first person fires again. How that works with trivia is just that but with shouting out answers. If you shout out and you're incorrect, you got to wait for everybody else to answer before you can answer again. Okay, let's do this. Excuse me. In the late 1970s, following the success of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Steven Spielberg began developing an alien invasion horror movie. Now, this eventually turned into E.T., but what was the title of that original horror movie?
Watch the Skies.
Night Skies.
Night Skies.
It is Graham. It is called Night Skies.
What is Watch the Skies?
Watch the Skies may be the movie he made when he was a teenager.
Maybe.
That might be called Firelight, but Night Skies is the title we're looking for. Yep. Graham, sit back and ponder what draft position you would like. Okay. We are down to Billy Ray and Clarke. Which one do I want to do? Let me do this one. This one's more fun. The animated film Planet 51 puts what twist on the alien invasion formula?
On Planet 51.
The film Planet 51
saw that.
Puts a clever twist on the alien invasion formula. What is it?
It's that the humans invade the alien planet.
That is correct.
I was trying to get the words out and I couldn't get it out quick enough.
An astronaut played by Dwayne Johnson is the invader himself on a planet of cute little green aliens. Okay, Clarke, you got that one right. So you're going to be picking it. And Billy Ray, again, what's going on, bud?
I'm telling you. Well, I'll be honest. The last draft I did, I intentionally didn't get it correct. This one, I legitimately just fucked up.
Oh,
so
Jesus
I didn't get it. Like they beat me. Clarke and Graham straight up beat me.
They straight up beat you. Okay. Graham, you won. Clarke, you got second place. Billy Ray, you got third place. So congratulations.
I'm good with third place.
A good trivia round. Okay.
I'm okay.
For people who listen to the show, I should also reiterate on these live shows, we do not do rollover vetoes and things. So all the blessings are going to be contained to this single episode. Graham, do you want drafter A with the least picks, but the bonus veto, drafter B with more picks and better placement, or drafter C with more picks, but all the way at the back of the list, but you do get that veto override?
So I am going to go against tradition here for me, because I have very strong feelings about the number 1 of this list. So I want to be drafter A. I want the bonus veto, and I want the number 1.
Oh, God damn you, Graham!
Wow.
You just already You already just blew. Oh,
All right. Okay.
damn it to hell.
Graham almost always goes for the back of the list where he can play his kooky Graham picks.
I was positive he was going to do that. I was
Full
positive.
of surprises.
Oh boy.
All right, Clarke, you get to pick between B and C. What do you want?
I am gonna go B.
All right, Clarke is going to take position B, which is 4 picks.
This is not what I expected at all.
Fascinating. Billy Ray, that means you are drafter C. You're going to get that veto override, and you're going to kick us off with the 11 and 10 picks in just a second. This is what the blessings look like going into the game. God. Billy Ray's got a veto and a veto override. Graham's got 2 vetoes. Clarke has the 1 veto. So 4 possible vetoes. Remember, we're playing that drinking game this evening about finishing your drink. When a veto is played, thank you for the inspiration for that, everybody on Scener. And Billy Ray walked away, so I guess I'll take this opportunity. Billy Ray
just quit.
Guys, I'm sorry. I didn't utilize the sign that I made that says I'm taking a piss, y'all, that I was going to hold up every time I have to go, but I forgot to play it the very first time I had to go take a piss. So,
all right.
That was a very
Billy
fast
Ray,
piss.
Are you going headphone-less today, bud?
Holy shit.
All right. Well, Billy Ray's audio is going to be useless for the first 30 minutes of the show. No, I'll use the Zoom recording. It's fine. Okay.
There we go.
Billy Ray, you've done like 45 of these shows.
Like a normal person.
All right. Again, one final time before we get into it. Drafter C is Billy Ray. He's going to make picks 11, 10, 6, and 3. Clarke is drafter B. She's going to make picks 9, 8, 5, and 2. Graham, 1 trivia, and he picked position A. And he will be making picks 7, 4, and 1. We're going to take an intermission after our 7th pick. And that's all you need to know. Billy Ray, you're kicking us off. The Alien Invasion ScreamDrafts Fantastic Fest at Home draft list. You're kicking us off at 11. Okay.
What did you do, Billy Ray? What did you do?
It's been so long since I've seen this.
Now
there's an invasion aspect to this?
In theory.
Oh, Christ.
In theory.
Oh, Lord.
God.
Now we're already off to a great start.
Ryan leaves, and you just are putting my commissioner override thing to the test.
Wow, already.
Right off the bat.
I'm already need another drink for this.
I don't remember this movie well enough. Well, hey, look, when a commissioner review happens, I will let Clarke and Graham try to convince me here. So we'll see. Maybe Scener can chime in as well. Here we go. Kicking off the ScreamDrafts Alien Invasion draft. Billy Ray has selected. Billy Ray, I could have sworn it was you, but now I'm just seeing Paul Rudd on your screen because you have played Mac and Me.
That's right. Mac
and Me. Is this an alien invasion movie?
Well, in theory, aliens do come to Earth. And while we don't know that their specific reason to come to Earth is to cause us harm, we do know that they have crazy electrical abilities that they could absolutely use to kill human beings. And so basically it's about a family of aliens who crash land on Earth. They get separated. It's sort of like an American Tale, but with aliens. Little Mac, the alien, gets separated and ends up becoming the friend of this wheelchair-bound young man who is coping with the death of his father. And, it is a heartwarming story starring Christine Ebersole, the great Christine Ebersole. I mean, if Christine Ebersole is enough for this to be on the list. And,
that's a fair point.
There's a sequence at the end where there is a shootout. There's an electrical battle. Someone dies. Like, the aliens may not necessarily be coming to take over the human race, but the fact that they have these electrical powers that can wipe out the human race, they can resurrect life. They resurrect a human life. The little boy, there's someone who gets killed, and the alien's like, no, we're bringing your ass back to life. I think if they have the capability to restore human life, they have the capability to destroy human life. And I think that is at the heart of my choice of Mac and Me.
All right. Commissioner Overridden. Thank you, Billy Ray. Thank you for playing.
What?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You didn't even let Clarke and Graham chime in.
No,
I have things to say about this.
I don't need to let them chime in.
What?
Overridden. They do not have ill intentions. They get shot at by cops, ACAB, by the way, and they don't know how to defend themselves.
Wait, hold on.
Graham, use your veto override. Graham, use your veto override. Graham,
Billy Ray has the veto override.
Oh,
Graham,
Billy Ray,
has
use your
it.
veto.
You can't override the commissioner.
I want to know what Graham thinks about this choice. Graham and Clarke, I want to quickly know what they think about this choice.
It wasn't on my list, but after hearing Billy Ray talk about it, I gotta say, in the true spirit of Fantastic Fest, chaos reigns. And what are we here for? I think he's totally right. I think that if they wanted to destroy the Earth, they certainly could. But it was the love of Mac that changed their minds. You know what I mean?
That changed their minds?
You have to look at the subtext, Clay.
To destroy the Earth.
You have to look at the subtext.
Clarke, if you would like to say something about Mac and Me, you are allowed. I'm still going to override it.
I actually would, because you know what? There is only one Steven Spielberg alien movie that I would put on this list. You'll find out what it is later. I bring this up because I've always preferred Mac and Me to E.T. And this is why, because it's dark.
Whoa.
These aliens are not fucking around. There's no cutesy little Reese's Pieces here. A kid gets shot in this movie. This movie comes to play. Yeah,
because he's friends with Mac.
That's right.
It's a game of 3D chess. It's a game of 3D chess that Mac is playing.
I actually love that this is. I would support this if the commissioner wasn't being such a drag. But whatever.
Thank God this game has commissioners. Mac and Me is Commissioner Overridden, and Billy Ray. There's a new rule today that if you get Commissioner Overridden twice, you have to forfeit a pick.
I love it when new rules exist because of me.
Oh my God. Yes. At Jinx in the chat just said, Billy Ray is happening.
Billy Ray is happening.
Oh, all right. Well, we got that out of our system.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Grant. I don't believe that for one fucking second. Billy, Graham, your system has unknown.
If I started drinking early today, why are they saying that? The senior chat is wondering if I started drinking early today. I did not. I did not. I started drinking with this beer. If you're noticing these rings around my eyes, it's because I just worked 3 16-hour days in a row. So I'm half asleep right now, but feeling great.
All right. Well, okay. Billy Ray got Commissioner Overridden. And again, if you get Commissioner Overridden twice, you forfeit a pick. Billy Ray has sent me a replacement at number 11, a movie I know he loves, and I had a hunch that it was going to show up on this list. Although I've never seen it. I really do need to see this because it stars two incredible actors. Many incredible actors, but top billed, we've got what, Billy Ray? Orlando Jones, right? Julianne Moore, and of course,
my Gossip Girl,
Mr. David Duchovny, in a film called Evolution.
It is a 2001 film directed by Ivan Reitman. This is a film I adore. Clay, I'm glad that you remember that I love this film. Mm-hmm. Basically, a meteor crashes in the desert in Arizona, and basically the aliens that are introduced into Earth are these sort of alien organisms that they sort of condense like millions and millions of years of evolution into like hours. And so it's like a constantly evolving organism. And who are you going to get to fight these aliens? You're going to get David Duchovny, you're going to get Julianne Moore, you're going to get Orlando Jones, and you're going to get my man Sean William Scott.
Of course.
And so the four of them sort of haphazardly team up to start to stop these sort of organisms. And what I love about this film is for me, this film has the most Ivan Reitman Ghostbusters energy since Ghostbusters. Like, I don't think Ivan Reitman has ever directed a film that has that kind of zany energy like Evolution. And Evolution essentially is Ghostbusters with aliens to some degree, but the cast is just so goddamn charming. Like David Duchovny is so great in this. His relationship with Julianne Moore, who does some really great comedy in this film. And like, it has one of my favorite line deliveries ever, where like Julianne Moore's in a Jeep and she's talking to David Duchovny and she's like, "You want to go with me?" And he's like, "Hell yeah." And it's just the way he delivers it is so fucking priceless. Sean William Scott, I think, is great in this. This was at the peak of his Sean William Scottness. And Orlando Jones, who I think, unfortunately, Orlando Jones is one of those actors who was always, I think, used improperly in a lot of ways and never really, Sleepy Hollow being the exception. I think he never really got to show what he could do as an actor. It's got a great supporting cast. You've got Ethan Suplee and Michael Bauer from Salute Your Shorts as two of David Duchovny's students who are really funny. And Dan Aykroyd pops up in this in a small role. Go figure. I just love the idea of the aliens being this organism that is speeding up evolution and the way that that's portrayed in the film. The visual effects don't necessarily hold up well, but again, this was 2001, so you can kind of forgive that. I just think this is a really fun, a really funny sort of hangout film. It's almost like an alien hangout film with four characters that you really enjoy spending time with. And it's been sort of endearing the last few years to see more and more people on Twitter and on the socials talk about how they actually really like Evolution, because I remember when it came out, like it was not really smiled upon in a big way. And I've been loving it since the first day I saw it in theaters. So Evolution was absolutely going to be my pick. I'm so glad I got the number 11 slot because I would never have played it any higher than number 11, but perfect place for it.
All right. At number 11, Billy Ray's pick of Evolution. Graham, you are first up in the veto order. Yeah. Lots of love for Mac and me. You bunch of fucking children.
Wow.
Wow.
Clay.
Good
Wow.
Lord.
Clay
I've
is
never
feisty.
seen this
Clay
side of
is
Clay
feisty.
before.
Clay
Hey.
is out for blood.
Clay Keller hates children.
Ryan keeps if Ryan's not here, it's Clay gone wild. He keeps me in check. Graham,
Look,
you're first up in the veto order. How do you feel about Evolution at number 11?
to be honest with you, I didn't even think of this movie for this draft. However, I also love this movie. I've always loved this movie. I loved it when I first saw it when it was in theaters. I haven't watched it in years, but I have nothing bad to say about it. So I couldn't possibly veto it. It's a delight of a picture.
All right, Clarke, when you could tell that Billy Ray had played Evolution, you exclaimed something. I believe you said, "Oh, Gossip Girl."
Oh my Gossip Girl.
Oh my Gossip Girl. Can you tell us what "Oh my Gossip Girl" means?
Well, Clay, it means exactly what it sounds like.
Oh, okay.
It's an exclamation that one makes, and they evoke our queen Gossip Girl.
Right.
I don't know. Actually, I heard somebody say it one time, and it made me laugh. And now I say it now. I don't even watch Gossip Girl. I just think it's funny.
You're excited about the pick, though.
Similar to Graham, I did not think of this, and it brings up memories. I don't look at the film or remember the film as fondly, I think, as my two counterparts. However, my dad took me to see this movie. This will be a theme, I think, through this whole, especially as we talk about like the movies that we saw growing up and the impressions that they left on us. And my dad took me to see it, so I saw it in theaters opening weekend, and this is a movie, and I was friends with Orlando Jones for a little while, and I agree with you, Billy Ray. I don't think that anybody has ever properly used OJ as like he should be. So,
all right, no veto from Graham or Clarke. Billy Ray, you got Evolution on at number 11, but you're up again with the number 10 pick.
I am happy to make a pick which will be deemed as controversial.
Oh Lord.
Because
No.
And let me just say,
No.
I mean this choice with every fiber in my being.
Okay. Here we go. There we got that. Okay. Billy, I'm genuinely curious. When you did your whole buildup about being controversial, was that a bit, or do you think this is going to be controversial in some way?
I think this is a controversial pick. I think people will
placement.
Yes, absolutely the placement. Absolutely the placement.
Okay. At number 11, Billy Ray played Evolution. At number 10, he has selected, the film that produced the image that I used as the promotion for this. I could say is, Clarke and Graham, if you disagree with this pick, welcome to Screen Drafts. At number 10, Billy Ray has selected Roland Emmerich's Independence Day.
Why did you do this? Why did you do this?
I do not have the same affection for this film as other people do. I remember being 14 years old and seeing this. I actually saw this film for the first time in the exact same theater in Houston, Texas that the tanks roll by in the movie. And that still wasn't enough to make me like this movie necessarily. I like this film. I think this film is fine. I don't love it like other people do. And I actually rewatched it for this draft. I hadn't seen it in a few years. The last Independence Day memory I had in my head was from fucking Resurgence. So I was like, I've got to rewatch the original. And so I rewatched the original. It's fine. It's fun. Like, Will Smith is great. Bill Pullman's great. Like, everybody's great. It's fine. It's fun. I have 20 alien invasion films that I like more than Independence Day. And I think it needs to be on the list. I don't think it needs to be high on the list. And so I'm playing it at number 10 for that reason. I would say, frankly, and I'm going to say this, and I think people are going to pass out somewhere in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I actually have more fun with Resurgence because it is so fucking stupid. I actually get more fun and more kicks out of Resurgence than this film. But if you're going to play one, you got to play this one. I'm playing it. Independence Day, ID4. Let's celebrate Independence Day. Boop, boop.
All right. Independence Day, a movie that's not dumb enough for Billy Ray.
Not dumb enough.
Controversial in its placement, clearly from Clarke and Graham's reactions. I adore this movie. It's wild to go through the last 5-10 years of blockbuster movies, then go back to Independence Day and realize just how fucking competent it is. The special effects are incredible. I love the structure of the movie. The chemistry between all the leads is so good. It's just such a fucking fun movie. It builds such a great crescendo. The score is great. I know my sister Britt, who is watching this and is creating the draft kind of pick update board that you're going to see at the intermission at the end of the show, is probably tearing her hair out right now because she adores Independence Day and the irrepressible sexiness of mid-90s Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith. Fascinating pick here at number 10. Clarke, you are up. Not Clarke, sorry, Graham, you are up first in the veto order. You seem dismayed. Are you going to leave Independence Day at number 10?
I am dismayed. There is a thing that's been happening with Independence Day over the past several years on the Twitterverse and whatever, or for whatever reason, people like to shit on this movie. And I don't understand why. People like to say, oh, it's not that good, or, oh, it's, it's just nostalgia. I call bullshit on all of that. It's not just nostalgia. It's a really, really, really good movie. Like you said, Clay, it's very competent. If you watch it right up next to any giant disaster epic or frankly, any like Marvel movie, like any of these things, Independence Day holds up.
Roland Emmerich.
Yes.
Roland Emmerich forgot how to make a movie at some point. It's crazy.
The cast in this movie.
Moonfall.
Okay, look,
Moonfall.
I am fully prepared to get my heart broken by Moonfall. I am very excited for Moonfall. But sorry, Graham, continue.
The cast is perfect. Come on. The tag team of Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum up in that thing trying to install a computer virus into this alien ship. It's incredible. Luke, you're right. What is the moon, though? It's not what we think it is.
No, yeah, Luke, the moon is not what we think it is. That's all we know for sure. We have to wait until Moonfall comes out to find out. Yes, and Graham,
I guess
Judd Hirsch.
Harvey
Fierstein's in this fucking movie.
I'm just glad Graham's not vetoing it.
Hold on. I was gonna say that I guess it's appropriate that
he's gonna
do the number 10 slot.
Oh,
because we all have early drinks, so we should all finish them right now because I vetoed them.
Oh, fuck you!
Veto for Graham Skipper.
Did you literally wait till I just poured myself a fresh glass of whiskey?
Honestly, same. I just made myself a new cocktail, but you know what, Graham? I drink to you.
We're doing it.
I drink to Will Smith. I drink to Jeff Goldblum. I'm not going to be able to finish this. I just am going to say it, but I'm going to try real hard.
Just drink a lot of it, and I'll keep talking. I hope everybody on Scener is playing along with us.
Graham, I love you. I didn't. Who knew that
we
would?
10. Are you kidding me?
No,
it can't be number 10. What are you talking about, Billy Ray? You're
That's
insane.
wild.
That's part of the whole reason for this whole draft.
Not for me.
Well, fine. You don't have another pick till number 6. So
the film has been vetoed with
I
the
have another
intention.
pick right now.
No, you
That's
don't.
right.
The film has been
vetoed it.
Independence Day has been
Oh,
vetoed.
well, yes, but
Okay. The Independence Day has been vetoed with the intention of moving it higher. So, Clarke, we will hear from you on Independence Day when it resurfaces. Now, and again, this has been happening a lot recently. When you veto something to move it higher, it's much like in the Japanese culture, when you save someone's life, it is now your responsibility. So just be aware that if you vetoed something to move it up, don't just assume it's, remember that it has not, come back around yet. Okay. Billy Ray, we're still getting picks from you, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is actually tough. I actually didn't think, I thought they would actually let that stand.
Oh, Billy Ray.
No.
How could you think such a thing?
I thought they would.
Billy
let
Ray
it
says
stand.
that now, but when it comes up in conversation in 2 weeks, he'll say, "Oh no, I was trying to." Draw
I actually did think they would let that stand because I genuinely did not want it higher up the list. Oh God, see, everything that I'm going to play now is going to be a banger, though. That people are going to think should be.
These
higher
are all
up the list.
bangers.
they're all bangers. They're all bangers.
But
not a banger like Independence Day, arguably the quintessential alien invasion
obviously
movie.
the definition of the banger in this entire category. So who
It's
knew
like
that?
analyzing.
It's
his
like,
list.
okay, we're doing a draft about movies about nightmares. Well, number 10 is A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Who
Come
knew
on.
that Graham and I would be so closely aligned so early?
Finally,
we are the Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith
Yes.
of
yes.
this draft.
Yes.
You can pick whichever one you want to be, Graham.
We can be a weird alien hybrid of the two. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Oh.
It's fine.
I take that. Billy Ray, you got 5 more seconds to analyze your list.
Okay, I'm going. Here we go.
He's punching it in. All right. I don't quite have it yet.
Oh, God damn it.
Billy Ray, just send me a pick.
I'm going. There we go.
Okay. Billy Ray, yeah. This Billy Ray, this is eligible. Okay.
I hope you play the thing that I hope you played.
Okay.
We'll
Like
see.
we have said, this topic encompasses a surprising number of different subgenres and things within film. And something that actually Billy Ray pointed out to me when we were in Austin kind of discussing this is that technically a lot of superhero movies are alien invasion movies, like a lot of them. I'm curious to see if any more pop up on the list, but we've got this one at number 10, at least as the first entry. At number 10, Billy Ray has selected Superman 2.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Superman
Okay.
2. This
Bow
is
before kneel before Zod. Clarke is freaking. Clarke, is this what you wanted him to play?
This is not what I thought when I said that, but I never in 100,000 years, I thought I was going to be off to write that hit song Alone in My Principles. This makes me so happy.
I adore Superman 2. As we all know, the great Richard Donner passed recently. I actually had the pleasure of doing a Richard Donner draft with the aforementioned terrible Brian Cogman.
Yep. Worst man on the planet.
And I love the Donner draft. I love the Donner cut of Superman 2. I think it's a beautiful film. I think it's a wonderful film. It is, frankly, it's not my favorite Superman film because the first one exists, but it's real close. And, so the aliens in this film are, Zod, Ursa, and Nan, who are the 3 quintessential aliens who are banished to the Phantom Zone. They are then broken out of the Phantom Zone. They come to Earth, and Superman has to do battle with them. And what I love about any superhero movie, to me, the superhero or heroes are only as good as the strength and quality of the villains. And the villains in Superman 2 are so formidable and they are so imposing that you literally are wondering, can Superman defeat them? Like, is Superman going to win? And because you really don't know, because they're presented as such formidable foes. And, I think the new films, like some of the Marvel films get it right, some of them don't. Like Thanos, I think, was a pretty well drawn out villain, but some of the superhero stuff, the villains just don't sink in for me. But this film, to me, is sort of like the origin of that, like really compelling villains that you're sucked into their stories, just like you're sucked into the story of Superman. And I just think, I think the idea, like the trilogy and the trio of those three against Superman and everything he has to do to sort of overcome them and save the day. I adore this film, specifically the Donner cut. I do want to specifically mention the Donner cut because I do think that is the definitive cut. But this was one of the first films, weirdly, that I thought about when thinking about this list, when I was thinking about aliens coming to Earth with intent on destruction. And the fact that you have this alien himself defending Earth, it just, to me, that just makes all the sense in the world for an alien invasion draft. And so, yeah, Superman 2, hell yeah.
Superman 2, one of the great superhero movies, and yeah, specifically the Donner cut. Oh yeah, one of the most interesting things about Superman was always that he was very specifically an extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
So interesting that he has this film with these villains that are aliens, and it is eligible. I don't know. I don't have anything to say about Superman 2. It's cool. Graham, you still have a veto. You used one, but you still have one because you won trivia and you got to pick. You're first up in the veto order. Superman. Were you considering any superhero movies? Did you see Superman 2 coming?
To be honest, I did not see it coming. But I can't be the person to veto Superman 2. I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's my favorite Superman movie. I love this movie. I think this is a fabulous pick. I love where Billy Ray's brain goes in terms of these, I never thought of evolution. I never thought of Superman 2. I think this is a great addition to an already eclectic list. And if we are looking at this list as programming of an 11 movie marathon, what a great way to kick it off. Evolution and then Superman 2. Thrilled with the pick. Great job, Billy Ray. Veto well used.
Thank you.
Clarke, Superman 2. What was the film that you were initially hoping for when you knew it was a superhero movie? Or don't reveal it.
What I was thinking or hoping he would play might get played in my number 9 slot. But that said, I will say I had on my big master list Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. It is my favorite superhero movie of all time. And as you know, I worked for DC Comics for hosting content for DC for many years. I actually have, this is probably TMI, but whatever, it's Fantastic Fest. I'm going to say it. I actually have on my online dating profile, one of the prompts is, I will never shut up about. And my answer is Superman is not an outdated or boring character. In fact, he is more relevant than ever. Billy Ray has heard the spiel from me before. And in my TED talk, I will. So I bring this up because the Donner cut is truly, to me, the best. It is the best example of Superman and Clark Kent and the struggle and what makes Superman interesting to me and makes him an endearing character and a powerful character. Ever on film. I saw somebody in chat mention it was Brute Quince 27 says Margot Kidder was the perfect Lois Lane. I agree, but not only that, she was Christopher Reeve's perfect Lois Lane. I think that is the biggest issue that we have with these two characters as they go forward today. Also, though, to speak of the aliens, to speak of the alien invasion, you see the terror, you see the fear that these aliens and extraterrestrials bring. And Terrence Stamp as Zod is so great. He's so saucy. He's just wonderful. And what I will say is in my list on number 10, I had Joss Whedon's The Avengers. And I had the Avengers. I love the Avengers, by the way, but I had it because I thought that I couldn't get away with the Donner cut of Superman 2. So this just worked out darn tootin' for me. And I love it. I'm so happy right now.
All right.
Yay!
Clarke is delighted. No veto coming for Superman 2. So there we go. Finally,
I'll take my bow for the time
Billy
being.
Ray, take a breather. Sit back. Clarke, I love that you are also monitoring the thing. I forgot that both you and Graham host shows where you like live monitor like interactions. So it's just like second nature to both of you.
I try to do it with Scripts Gone Wild, but I get too drunk.
No, and I prefer to do screen drafts in a hermetically sealed bubble where I don't have to hear anyone's opinion. So this is a whole new world for me here on Scener. I'm glad I have you guys with me. Okay. No veto from Graham or Clarke. Number 11, Evolution. Number 10, Superman 2. Clarke, you got second place in trivia. You selected the drafter B position. You are up next with the pick at number 9, and then immediately following it, the pick at number 8. And you have sent your pick at number 9. Okay, here we go. All right.
I'm so excited.
I wrote it down. I had to write down the specific year.
I hope I got the year right, actually, Clay. I think I did, though. But you know which one I'm talking about.
I know which one you're talking about. And yes, this is one of those ones where the year needs to be specified. There are multiple versions of this particular.
Hang in there, Billy Ray. Don't worry.
I'm excited for either of them.
Billy Ray seems to have already figured it out. I've said many times, I love a topic that encompasses lots of different genres. I said that Alien Invasion has thrillers and dramas and comedies. I neglected to say that it has musicals. At number 9, Clarke has selected from 1986, Little Shop of Horrors.
I just feel like it has to be on the list. I'm just a mean green mother from outer space. I recently had the pleasure of doing a deep dive into this film with Peaches Christ and Michael Verratti on their podcast Midnight Mass. I revisited it, very recently, and it so stands the test of time. It is so relevant, and I gotta say, so it's so funny. When I was talking about this with them, I referenced Little Shop like it was, I said, it reminds me of a Twilight Zone episode. Because, Seymour, like we get him, he's down on his luck, all that stuff. He finds this magical thing and then he, gets everything he wants, but he pushes it a little too far. There's a comeuppance, a just desserts kind of element, depending on what ending you go for, but you get the idea. And as I was thinking about it within the context of this draft, I appreciated Little Shop even more, that I feel like it fits so much criteria of the 50s and 60s time period that the movie is set in, despite being obviously made in the 80s. I think it is socially relevant. I think, Peaches and Michael brought up the discussion of climate and our Earth and our planet and how that feels more relevant today than ever. And the performances are so great. Levi Stubbs as our alien, Audrey too, is so fabulous. And I have to shout out Steve Martin, who is pitch perfect.
Incredible.
He's
Incredible.
So good. And that's the thing, like, honestly, if you think you remember the movie or you haven't seen the movie in a while, I would honestly really encourage you to go back and watch it. It is currently streaming on HBO, in the US. And because movie musicals are not funny really anymore. Like, they are directed by people who aren't particularly funny or satirical or edgy. This is an edgy, cool movie. And as we know, the cut ending, so on, yada, yada. I could clearly go on and on, but Little Shop is my number 9 pick.
All right. Little Shop of Horrors from 1986. Is that Frank Oz directed that? Yeah. Am I making that up? That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Frank Oz's Little Shop of Horrors, 1986. Graham, you're first up in the veto order. How do you feel about Audrey 2 here at number 9?
How do I feel about it? It was also my number 9. So we continue to be perfectly in sync.
Wow.
with
Graham
the
and
Goldblum to
Clarke.
my Will Smith, Clarke Wolfe.
Anytime. Graham.
I'm thrilled. One of the best musicals ever made. One of the best movie musicals ever made. Big shout out to Ellen Greene, who is given a very difficult role. Audrey is not an easy role to play. And Ellen Greene absolutely crushes it. Of course, the great Rick Moranis in his best screen role ever, in my opinion. I love this movie. When this topic came up, I didn't initially think of it, and somebody mentioned it on Twitter, and I went, "Oh, holy shit! Of course." So obviously, it made my list. Yeah, I'm thrilled. This is great.
All right, Graham is on board. Billy Ray, Howard Ashman's Little Shop of Horrors here at number 9.
I'm really disappointed that I didn't think of this film at all when I was thinking of this list. I adore this film. I think it's one of the best movie musicals ever made. I think Little Shop is probably one of my top 5 musicals ever. I think Howard Ashman was a genius. Rest in peace. If you haven't seen the documentary on Howard Ashman on Disney Plus, I suggest you do that because it is wonderful and heartbreaking. I think this is an amazing choice. Like I said, I had never thought of this, and it makes all the sense in the world, and I can't believe I didn't think of it. And it's so weird to me. And I'm sorry if this is a bit of a tangent, but like so many actors get pigeonholed for like one role, and that's all they're known for. And a lot of the times that makes me sad. But when it comes to Ellen Greene and Little Shop of Horrors, the fact that is Ellen Greene and that is what she will always be known for, I think is kind of wonderful, because she is so perfect for that role in whatever medium. Ellen Greene is Audrey. And, the fact that she was doing it with Jake Gyllenhaal just a few years ago and still blowing everyone off the stage. Like, that's how good she is. Like, pun intended, otherworldly talent. And I think, amazing choice. I can't imagine, like, if I wasn't saving it for specific titles, I would honestly consider vetoing it just to get it higher now that I've thought of it. But I'm okay with it being at number 9 because I love it that much.
All right. In there at number 9, Little Shop of Horrors from 1986. Clarke, you have the number 8 pick as well. And when you're prepared with that, please send it over. Okay.
I'm ready to have my mind blown.
Here we go. All right. At number 9, Clarke played Little Shop of Horrors. At number 8, there's been a handful of pretty great alien invasion movies in the last 5, 6, 7 years. This is one that was so popular, it spawned a sequel.
Oh.
And is going to have a part 3 as well.
Oh, okay.
At number 8, Clarke has selected from writer-director John Krasinski, A Quiet Place.
Yes. So I specifically chose to play A Quiet Place one notch ahead of Little Shop. So that I obviously understand I could have flipped them. And I would have been fine if they were in either order, to be honest with you. But I understand that both of the gentlemen could use their veto, but I want to point something out because on the one hand, Chelsea Stardust and I talk a lot about how when we talk about our favorite films and we really get into deep dives in cinema, we rarely mention movies that have come out recently. And I get that, right? Because, we always, as film nerds, we want to look to the classics. We want to look to the past. I recently did A Quiet Place on my show Wolf's Call on Fear HQ and did another deep dive at home, breaking down this film. And I think this film is I think it's outstanding. I think it's very good. I think it is one of those movies that is clearly commercially successful, commercially popular. But it also is at its core genre done best, which is focusing on a family story with incredible performances. The kids are great. Emily Blunt, this is her movie. The stuff that she does as an actor, Billy Ray, I had the opportunity to be on Billy Ray's podcast and do the greatest female performances, horror genre performances of the last 20 or of the two since 2000. Yeah. And I put Emily Emily Blunt on my list for this film because I am just blown away by her in this movie. Every time I watch it, I have a feeling she might pop up again on this list. But nonetheless, I do think that A Quiet Place deserves to be on this list. I think it is great. And so, yeah, that's why I played it.
All right. Emily Blunt. Hey, look, I don't think anybody would be upset if she shows up multiple times on any list. But Emily Blunt here, number 8 in A Quiet Place. Graham, why didn't they just build their house by the waterfall? That's my question. No, how do you feel? How do you feel about A Quiet Place at number 8?
I love this movie. It didn't quite make my list for no particular reason, aside from there's just a lot of good movies and I had to play certain ones above it. I think it's really unique, the functionality of the aliens. I like the idea of having to be silent. Man, that scene where Emily Blunt has to give birth to that baby is one of the most harrowing sci-fi horror scenes I maybe have ever seen. I saw it at the Los Feliz 3, and it was a packed theater at 7 p.m. on a Friday night, and not a single person said a fucking word. It was so fucking tense. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. It's a great movie. I have nothing bad to say about it. Shout out to my friend Leon Russum, who plays the old man in the woods, who screams. He's a buddy of mine, great actor. Shout out to Leon for that fantastic performance. I can't veto it. I mean, look, there was always going to be movies on this list that, in my opinion, were like diehard classics. And we are coming down the runway pretty quick here. But I agree. I think that it's important to include some modern movies and some modern classics. And I think A Quiet Place certainly qualifies. So on board.
All right. No veto from Graham. Billy Ray, do you have any shout outs for old men you'd like to do?
Yeah. Shout out to John Krasinski, who is naked in my bed about 2 feet away.
Oh, hey, John. Hey.
Hey, John.
I'll be with you in a second. John did some weird sort of eye thing that he used to do in the office. So that means that he understands and recognizes. This was not on my list. I totally understand why it's on Clark's, and I totally understand why it fits on this list. I have no qualms with it. I adore A Quiet Place. I actually only recently got around to seeing A Quiet Place 2, which I thought was actually pretty well made and actually pretty great. I was surprised. I was not looking forward to seeing A Quiet Place 2, but I did, and I was happy. But yeah, I think Quiet Place is a really fun film. I think it's so unique from a lot of the films that are going to be on this list. And again, Emily Blunt fucking rules. I really hope Emily Blunt makes it twice on this list, because if not, it would be a travesty. But yeah, great choice. A Quiet Place. And the last thing I'll say about that is.
Oh, all right. I get it.
Great for podcasting, Billy Ray.
Yeah. I always like dead silence in podcasts. I think it's a unique experience. We're on video this time, guys. That's right. They can see us. Graham, stop picking your nose.
Oh no.
This is live in Technicolor. Okay, no veto from Billy Ray. So Graham gets on, not Graham, Clark. You made me drink that beer all at the same time. Clark got on a Little Shop of Horrors and Quiet Place at 9 and 8. We've got one more pick at number 7 before we take our intermission. All right. And we're going to Mr. Graham Skipper for his first pick on the show.
God help us.
Here we go.
Okay. Here we go. A film that I have not seen.
Oh God.
Oh wow.
No, that speaks more to just this is a blind spot for me, and not that it's a weird. It might be a weird pick. Graham has played something that may be able to avoid a commissioner override because I haven't seen it, but I will. Graham, I believe in you.
It's not an override.
This is squarely eligible.
100%.
I hope it's international.
You're not taking advantage of me.
I
promise you, I'm not.
Okay. All right. Here we go. At number 7, Graham won trivia, and he wanted draft position A. This is what Graham wanted. His first pick here at number 7 is international, but it is still English language. At number 7, Graham has selected. This is Peter Jackson, right, Graham?
Yep.
Peter Jackson's Bad Taste.
It's about time that we have an alien invasion movie on this list that is a scrappy, tiny little movie that is way bigger on screen than it has any right to be. It's absolutely no surprise that Peter Jackson went on to become the filmmaker that he did after watching this movie, which he made for initially about $25,000. It, of course, is set in New Zealand, and it follows a group of people that encounter a bunch of man-eating aliens in their small town in New Zealand. This movie is super fun. This movie features Peter Jackson in a number of performances that are all equally zany. The story of making this movie of Peter Jackson literally storing Luke, he shot this on 35, right? I believe it was shot on 35. Yeah, Luke gives me the thumbs up. Of storing the 35 prints under his bed. They got moldy. He had to get them cleaned because he lives by the ocean. This took a number of years to make, filming on the weekends, et cetera, et cetera. Imagine if something like Clerks had incredible special effects that honestly blow away a lot of practical effects that you see nowadays. It all really, really works. There's a huge ending with a giant house lifting up off the ground that is 100% practical and awesome. And I adore this movie. I hadn't ever seen it until 5 or 6 years ago when a friend had a copy of it that was a UK copy, because it's very, very difficult to find. Oh, okay. Luke says it was 16 millimeter. Okay, I couldn't remember. But yeah, it's a remarkable film. It's a remarkable making of story. And I think that as we're putting this whole list together of movies that are all total classics, I think it's important to also include some smaller stuff. And I think that Peter Jackson's Bad Taste is a great movie that's not only representative of scrappy indie filmmaking, but is also the origin story of one of our greatest genre directors. So Bad Taste.
All right. The story of aliens invading, obviously an inherently sort of big scale thing. Impressive when you can pull that off on a tiny budget with some scrappy weekend shoots. Graham has selected Bad Taste at number 7. Clarke, you are up first in the veto order. How do you feel about Peter Jackson's film here in about the middle of the list?
Listen, this is Graham's first pick. And he did us all a solid by using one of his vetoes to place Independence Day a little higher than Billy Ray had it. So I give you this. Enjoy. This is for you.
Thank you, Clarke.
And for like 3 people in chat. So mwah, have fun.
Come on. The chat's got to love this one.
I mean, like, truly, like, excuse me, I should say, and a decent amount of people in chat who are excited to see this on the list. Would I put it this high? No. Would everybody else on this platform probably have not put A Quiet Place as high? Probably not. So this is how we make these lists. Graham deserves it.
All right. No veto from Clarke. Graham bought himself some goodwill with his Independence Day veto. And remember, Independence Day still not on the list. It still floats out there. Billy Ray, you were excited about an international pick. Is this the international pick you thought was coming down the pike?
No, I thought he was going to play the host. That's what I thought.
Oh, interesting.
I thought he was going to play the host.
I forgot you love the host, Billy Ray.
Being legit about that. But that said, like, I have no ill feelings about Bad Taste. Like, I've loved this film for a long time too. It did not make my list. It was not even in my top 20, but it was just when I was talking about earlier about like my top 30, it was in my top 30. It was not in my top 20. I also have to give Graham credit for vetoing my Independence Day and getting rid of that veto. I do have to kind of say, Graham, I like Clarke. This is yours, buddy. Take it. Enjoy
Thanks,
it.
Everyone. Thanks,
Peter
everyone.
Jackson,
the true spirit of giving.
You're welcome.
So positive.
But you know what's crazy though is like for someone who's playing Bad Taste, he certainly has good taste.
There you go.
I'm drunk.
I think, yeah, we're all on our way there. We'll see if we get any more vetoes throughout the course of this game to accelerate that. Right now, the vibes are so positive. The camaraderie is palpable.
Don't worry, Clay. This is when the aliens show up, right? And we're optimistic and we're hopeful that maybe it'll be peaceful. And then somebody just has to fire the first laser beam and blow up the White House. And then we go, uh-oh, or the Empire State Building, and we go, uh-oh, this is bad.
This is the part of Independence Day when they fly up to the thing and they try playing the Close Encounters of the Third Kind song.
Exactly.
Blow them out of the air. Okay, that is our first 7 picks. This is the part of the show where we're going to take a brief intermission. Everybody go get a snack, use the restroom, refill your drinks. We're going to see you back here in 5 minutes. But right now, this is what the list looks like. Number 11, Evolution. Number 10, Superman 2. Number 9, Little Shop of Horrors. Number 8, A Quiet Place. And number 7, Bad Taste. We will be back with the top 6 picks, 2 apiece for each of our guest GMs when we return. And we are back. Okay, hope everybody enjoyed their intermission. They snacked up. They got some drinks. Who knows? We may have more vetoes incoming, so we may need full drinks and extras at the ready. Okay, so you were just looking on your screen at the list thus far. Of course, we got a number 11, Evolution, number 10, Superman 2, number 9, Little Shop of Horrors, number 8, A Quiet Place, number 7, Bad Taste. Before we get to the top 6 picks, let's do a little plug-in. Billy Ray.
Play.
You've got a show coming up in 2 days here for this very festival.
That's correct. Scripts Gone Wild. We are very fortunate to be back at Fantastic Fest for our 3rd year. We love Fantastic Fest, are really excited about it. This year we are doing something a little lighter. We're doing Hocus Pocus. Who the fuck doesn't love Hocus Pocus? We've got some awesome folks lined up for that. We've got Barbara Crampton. We've got Amanda Wist from A Nightmare on Elm Street. We've got Kelly Maroney from Night of the Comet. We've got Rain Pryor. Yes, Richard's daughter. We've got Gigi Sola Guerrero, who had a film this year at Fantastic Fest, Bingo Hell.
An excellent film, I might add, available now on Amazon.
That's right. We've got Drew McWeeny, Scott Wampler, Clay Keller himself is going to be there. Clarke Wolfe is going to be there.
What?
Graham, you're not for some reason.
I'm not going to be there, and my plug will let people know why.
Yeah, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. We're raising money for Creative Action, which is an Austin-based charity that raises money for funding for arts in the classroom. That's going to be a lot of fun. So everybody should check it out. You can, if you're on Scener right now, just come back to Scener on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Central. It should be a lot of fun. And that's really all I feel like plugging right now.
All right, Scripts Gone Wild, Hocus Pocus, coming up on Wednesday as part of Fantastic Fest at home. Clarke, let's do a little plug-in. Tell us about Fear HQ.
Yes, so Fear HQ is formerly TWD Universe, the Walking Dead universe on Twitch. We have now rebranded to Fear HQ. So now we also still talk Walking Dead, the entire franchise, if you're into that. But we also just have opened ourselves up. And so now we talk all things horror, sci-fi, fantasy. So if you are a fan of Fantastic Fest, y'all have probably heard me say genre over the years. But Fantastic Fest has really like cultivated how I understand genre storytelling. I don't like to put things in boxes like horror, sci-fi, fantasy, whatever. I love the, so as a result, that's what I'm bringing to Fear HQ. So every Tuesday from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern, I live stream my show called Wolf's Call, which is a deep dive into a horror movie or a genre film. And it's a lot of fun. So Twitch is free and it's a really great community. So you can join us at twitch.tv/FearHQ.
Twitch.tv/FearHQ, Wolf's Call on Tuesday nights. Graham, you're gonna plug sitting on your ass and not doing Scripts Gone Wild, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly, yes. So every Wednesday night on Spoon, which is an app you can download everywhere you download apps. I have a show called Down in the Basement. What Spoon is, think a podcast app, but where listeners can interact via a live chat. Or also calling in, just like good old-fashioned radio. So it's a weekly horror show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific, where we talk about all things horror. Sometimes we do movie watch-alongs. Sometimes we talk about our favorite top 10 alien horror movies. Who knows what it is? It's very, very fun. We often have some really fun guests. Billy Ray has been on there. Got to get you guys on there as well at some point. And then, if you're in the Dallas area, I was lucky enough to get to help put together the amazing haunted interactive live experience, The House of Spirits, here in Dallas. There's also a production in LA and New York. We just opened here in Dallas this Saturday and Sunday. It's awesome. A fully interactive haunt where you get to interact with ghosts and go through a dark maze and encounter creatures and all sorts of crazy stuff. So if you're in the Dallas area, come see us. It's really fun. So yeah, thanks a lot for maybe coming. I don't know what I was going with that. I also have to say that I was worried that I was going to run out of beer, and so I went to the fridge to see what we had, and the only beer we had left available was one of my wife's pickle beers. So never had one of these, but You're going to see my live reaction to a pickle beer, and I really hope to God it's not on a veto.
First time for everything.
Graham's going to be unboxing a pickle beer in a little bit. Check out Down in the Basement on Spoon and House of Spirits in the Dallas area coming up. The plug for ScreamDrafts, of course, on your screen, you're probably seeing it say ScreamDrafts. As I said, that's our alter ego in the month of October. But the podcast is called ScreamDrafts. You can find that anywhere podcasts are. Coming up the rest of this month, as we said, it's Billy Ray Mania here in October. The episode that went up today is another mini mega, like we're doing right now, of baseball movies, celebrating the beginning of the postseason here. But the rest of the month is all horror stuff, and all of our guest GMs you see in front of you are coming back later in the month. First up is going to be Graham Skipper. He's doing a Mad Scientist movies draft with Hallie Kiefer from the Ruined podcast. Billy Ray's coming back with our buddy Kyle Anderson from Entertainment Weekly. They have done, this is their 4th annual ScreamDrafts matchup. They're doing Dimension films released by Dimension. That'll be exciting. And then closing out ScreamDrafts, one of the biggest horror genre topics we've done yet. Clarke's coming back, joined by another Clarke Collis of Entertainment Weekly, and our good buddy Darren Franich, also of Entertainment Weekly, for the zombie mini mega draft. We're doing 13 for that one. We're doing the spooky number for zombie movies. Clarke, are you excited about that?
I'm very excited. It's great. I can't wait. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, actually, and I think it's going to be really fun. I'm so curious what the other gentlemen pick.
Well, it's going to be coordinated with the release of Clarke Collis's oral history of Shaun of the Dead. So I'd be surprised if we didn't see that show up at some point, but who knows?
Never heard of it. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, Clarke, make sure to give that one a spin before
Which
you.
One? What's it? Let me write it down. Hold on.
It's called Shaun of the Dead. Shaun.
Yeah,
it's like Dawn of the Dead, but like the name that a normal Joe would have.
So
it's part of the Shaun. It's part of the Shaun the Sheep series.
It's a French movie. It's a fucking French movie.
Yeah. There's like 3 movies about ice cream, and this is the first one.
Oh my gosh! Wait, I love ice cream.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. So zombie mini mega at the end of the month with ScreamDrafts. We've got a Patreon too. You can find all that on the internet. You all are good at Googling. Let's get back into the game. Okay, this is what we got coming up. There's 6 picks remaining, 2 apiece for our 3 guest GMs. Let's see here. Billy Ray, who is drafter C, is going to have picks 6 and 3. Clarke, who is drafter B, is going to have picks 5 and 2. And Graham, per his choice, after winning trivia, is going to have picks 4 and 1. The blessing situation is that Billy Ray's got his veto and his veto override. Graham's got a veto and Clarke's got a veto. And there is one film out there in the ether that it was vetoed to get higher that has not reappeared yet. Okay, let's keep this spaceship moving. Who's up? Wait, who's up first?
It's
me.
I
just said it. Billy Ray, when you're ready, send me your pick at number 6. Okay.
I would say, but as a brief preface to this choice, I'm only playing it this low because I don't have confidence that either of my fellow drafters will play it themselves. And I want to make sure it gets on the list. That's why it's being played here. Otherwise it would be much higher on my list.
All right. Billy Ray, not sure if Clarke or Graham are going to be on board with this pick. We're going to find out in a second. Number 6, this is a movie. This was, I would say this is the first horror movie I saw in theaters. This is both based on how old I am and also that I was a real scaredy cat as a kid. So I was, I think, 13 or 14 when this movie came out. It was the first scary movie I saw in theaters. It scared the shit out of me, but it has remained one of my favorite movies. I watched it recently for a guest appearance on another podcast, and I cried basically the whole time. This is, I think, a high watermark for almost everybody involved. At number 6, Billy Ray has selected M. Night Shyamalan's Signs.
This is unabashedly my favorite M. Night Shyamalan film. I would venture to say it's my favorite Mel Gibson film. I think this is a masterpiece. It's a film about a former preacher, now turned farmer, played by Mel Gibson, who has two small children, played by Culkin, Rory Culkin, and one of the Fannings, right?
Dakota.
No, Abigail Breslin.
Dakota.
Abigail, yeah.
Well, Breslin. Yeah,
Abigail
yeah,
Breslin.
Yeah.
And
Dakota. Yeah,
he
she's
lives
in another one.
Yeah, he lives and works on a farm. He's trying to sort of get past this sort of persona that he has as the local preacher, and crop circles show up in his cornfield. And at first, he doesn't know what to make of it. He thinks it's some local people playing a prank. He's not really sure what to make of it. And slowly, as the film moves on, you start realizing that it's not local kids playing a prank. It actually is a legitimate crop circle. And as the film progresses, you start getting more and more into this idea of an alien invasion, that there are actually aliens. These crop circles are actually notifications of where they are supposed to land for this invasion. And then there actually is an alien invasion that takes place in the film. We don't see it. We only really experience it through the emotions and the reactions of the characters that we've come to know as they are sort of cordoned inside of this farmhouse together. We do see the aliens, though, throughout the film. And we full on see an alien at the end of this film. I adore this film. Like I said, I think this is M. Night Shyamalan. For me, this is my favorite M. Night Shyamalan film of all of his films. That includes Sixth Sense. I think the emotion that this film wrings out of the topic is so profound. And like Clay just said, he cried through his most recent rewatch. I also cried through my most recent rewatch. I think regardless of what you think of Mel Gibson, and I know that there are a lot of opinions on Mel Gibson, and rightfully so, this is, I think, the pinnacle of his acting, because I think this showcases what he does so well in his ability to play this sort of drama and comedy. Yes, this does have a lot of funny moments in it. This is
the most successful Shyamalan comedy in any of his movies.
Absolutely. And I think Gibson knows what he's doing here. He knows what type of film this is. He's playing it exactly how it needs to be played. You've got Rory Culkin and Abigail Breslin, who are giving terrific performances as this kid. And then let's talk for a second about Joaquin Phoenix, who is so memorable in this film. Like, he is the highlight of this film. He brings such a manic energy to this, and such a, he's so likable in this film. He's so likable. Yeah. And I know people give this film a lot of shit for the way it sort of ties up at the end as if it's trying to be a twist like his other films. And I get where they're coming from, but I think it works so beautifully in Signs. And there are moments in this film that are generally frightening for me. Like, there are the moment where he is in the cornfield and you just see the alien, just like half of the alien slide into the corn, or when he sees him on the roof, or, I mean, so many moments in this film really work as horror. And it is such a wonderful blend of horror and comedy and suspense and science fiction. And it's all of those things rolled into one. And I don't know what happened to M. Night Shyamalan. At some point he decided to become
nothing. He is excellent.
No. He decided at some point to become a 50-50 filmmaker. Like, you take your chances. Either it's going to be awesome or it's going to suck. And but for those first, for the first three films, for Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs, he knocked out, for my money, 3 masterpieces in a row. And so anybody who wants to shit on him as a filmmaker, I'm like, there's no way you make those 3 films and you're a shit filmmaker. Like, he's made some stumbles along the way. To me, Signs is the high point. I was afraid that Clarke and Graham might not play it, so I wanted to get it here. It would have honestly been in my top 3. And so I'm playing it here. Hopefully it will stay here.
All right. M. Night Shyamalan's Signs at number 6. A great James Newton Howard score, too. Man, the way this movie opens sets an incredible tone, and then immediately downshifts into a slow burn. Really masterful control of a slow build here in this movie. Just one of the best, from my opinion. Who is up first? Graham. Graham, you were up in the veto order. How do you feel about Signs here at number 6?
Yeah, it's no surprise, I'm a huge M. Night Shyamalan fan. I love all of his movies. And Signs is without a doubt 100% my least favorite of his films.
No,
I do not like this movie. I don't like it. I think that the performances are very good. I think Mel Gibson's
No.
great in it. I think Joaquin Phoenix is okay in it. I think that the kids are fantastic. I think they're the best part of the film. I think tonally this movie just 100% does not work for me.
Whoa.
I think that this movie, I see Luke is losing his mind over there. So tonally for me, this movie feels like M. Night Shyamalan, and I just watched it yesterday because I was like, all right, everybody's on board with this movie. I gotta watch it again. And I still feel this way. I feel like M. Night with his humor in this movie, undercuts
Billy Ray. Oh my goodness.
Wow, Billy Ray.
I was only responding to a message.
I see it now. Look, Bogas in the chat. I have reasons for thinking all this. Okay. With Signs, I think that the comedy undercuts the horror. I think the horror undercuts the comedy. I don't think they build on each other the way that a great horror comedy should. I totally agree. I think that the cast does a really good job. I think that the alien invasion stuff just doesn't work for me. I'm not scared by it. He chops off some fingers at some point. I don't know. When I saw it the first time, it never affected me. Now playing Jim, who says, "What is happening?" quote unquote. I like The Happening way better than this. I do. The Happening at least is funny and enjoyable. I just don't like this movie. Now, am I going to veto this movie? The problem is that if I veto this, Billy Ray's already said he would put it in his top 3, which I absolutely cannot allow to happen. Yeah. I will just say that right now, I have 6 movies here that absolutely have to be on this list, and Billy Ray has taken away one of their slots for M. Night's worst film, and I don't know how to handle that, but I need to hold on to my veto because now the whole world's upside down, and I gotta let Signs stay on.
M. Night's worst film.
What a terrible take. What a terrible take.
Graham. All right. Never a dull moment with Graham Skipper around. No veto from Graham, though, because Billy Ray did already say he would put it in his top 3.
I absolutely would have played this at number 3.
Also, you guys can't see him out there in viewerland, but producer Luke from Fantastic Fest was fully losing his mind over there in Austin. Clarke,
I love
Signs at number 6.
I love how chat is going on with our alien metaphor of, okay, the aliens have landed, shots fired, it's war now, the invasion is on. So, okay, I am going to be the realist real, probably too real, but thanks Deep Eddies, grapefruit vodka and Fantastic Fest. This is not on my list because Mel Gibson is a raging anti-Semite. That's the reason. I'm one of those people who I live and work in the entertainment industry. I try not to support people who are horrible. Therefore, I did not put this on my list because of Mel Gibson. That said, and also I understand that the hypocrisy will reign because maybe there's a Tom Cruise thing on here and Scientology is not great either. So anyway, not the point. The point is that I'm not going to take this off because I think this movie's great. It pains me that the DVD, not even a Blu-ray, is sitting in my DVD collection. And I can't even though he gets no residuals for that, I can't even bring myself to want it because I dislike Mel Gibson so much. So that said, I love this movie and it's a great alien movie and everyone's great in it, including Mel Gibson, which is why I hate that he's such a fucking anti-Semite and racist, because he is. But that said, I love this movie. This is a great movie. Everyone's good in it. I love M. Night Shyamalan. Even speaking of swings, let's take the swing metaphor.
Swing away.
When he swings and misses, boy, does he swing. And that's what I love about Night. I truly do. And I think this movie's great. And so I'm not going to use my veto on it. But I couldn't put it on my list, but it's here and I don't disagree with it being here.
I do want to say, I totally understand where Clark's coming from. That is always in my mind when I think about a film that has Mel Gibson in it. That said, I will say, and this is relevant now because we are all, I would assume, supporting the IATSE support. So many people worked on this film besides Mel Gibson.
Agreed.
And the good people that worked on this film so far outweigh the actions of one person that I think that's where I get over that sort of thing. And I respect people who can't. I absolutely do. This is not shaming anybody who can't watch a film because of Mel Gibson. But like, there are so many good people who worked on this film. There's so many things to appreciate about this film that have nothing to do with Mel Gibson, who is, as Clarke accurately said, yes, he's an anti-Semite. Yes, he's a racist. Yes, there are a multitude of problems with him as a human being. But so many people worked on this film who are not him and who do not have those issues. And I think celebrating their work is important as well. And this film just fires for me on all levels. Graham, whereas I can understand where Clarke is coming from, Graham, I feel like
Graham is the real problem.
Ted is
the real problem here, everybody.
Ted is so far up his own ass that I feel like he's looking for signs to try to find his way out.
Look, Mel Gibson, whatever. Graham is who we should be focusing on right now. Great work by everybody involved in this movie, including cinematographer Tak Fujimoto. Great looking movie.
I do want to comment on something though. Someone just posted on the Scener a contradiction of mine that I hate Craig Zoller for Bone Tomahawk, but I'm okay with Mel Gibson in this, which is a valid point. But I will say this: I've heard Craig Zoller speak in person, and he's a horrible human being. I've never heard Mel Gibson speak. If I hear Mel Gibson speak in person and he's a horrible human being, I promise you I'll change my opinion. Craig Zoller came across as a horrible piece of shit. End of story. Thank you, Scener.
I appreciate, hey, everyone on Scener, especially to bring that up, that must be someone who listens to the show, is a great fan. If we're going to call out Billy Ray and make him address all of his contradictions, we're going to be here until 6 a.m. So let's keep cooking along. At number 6, Signs.
Yeah, you guys also, we got to get this moving so that I have time to watch The Village before I go to bed tonight.
Look, no one has a problem with The Village, Graham. I think
like The Village.
You're including like a Last Airbender. Like, I think that's where
which is a super fun movie.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Here we go. We're moving on. At number 5, we've got Clarke.
Okay, before I send you my pick, Clay, Billy Ray.
Yes.
Billy Ray, I need you to blink twice if there's a movie that we both really like that you want to play eventually.
Oh, I know what you two are doing.
You want to play eventually?
Yeah.
All right, there's some
some
collusion. Okay.
Mother F. Okay.
Getting around my non-collusion rule by not speaking.
Oh, do you have a non-collusion rule? I'm sorry. I didn't know that one. I wasn't listening during that part. Okay.
Clarke's 5th draft doesn't know about the non-collusion rule.
Sorry. Okay, then in that case, here we go.
Yeah. She's thinking.
I am thinking.
There's a movie that has not come back yet. And so far,
okay,
we have not ventured further back than the 1980s so far on the list.
All right, I got it. I'm gonna make some people mad, I think, but let's do it. Not with this one, with my number 2 pick. But here we go. Okay.
A sneak peek of fury to come. Okay. Here we go. I got to write this down. Nice long title. And I got to include the year. Okay.
Yes. Yes, please.
Here we go. Billy Ray thinks he has figured it out.
50% chance, I think.
All right. Here we go. Okay. I just said that we had not yet ventured further back than the 80s on this list. This one does, not by much, but it does venture back beyond the 80s. This is a film that I alluded to earlier. Clarke was a big proponent of on our 70s horror mega draft.
Not just Clarke, not just Clarke,
but Clarke and Billy Ray back, whatever that was, during lockdown at some point. And here it is at number 5, a little bit lower than I was expecting it based on past history. But we'll see what people have to say. At number 5, one of the adaptations of perhaps the most famous, maybe the second most famous story of alien invaders. This is Philip Kaufman's 1978 Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes, queen. So listen, I love this. I controversially put it at number 1. Not to us controversially, but to many people. At number 1 of our 70s horror mega draft. I love this movie. I actually rewatched it just a couple nights ago. Just to make sure. And I think this movie is great. And I think it is one of the ultimate alien invasion films. I love everything about it. I feel like it's sophisticated but accessible. I feel like it's different but familiar. And the performances are outstanding. I also love the commentary that is here. I think it is an excellent use of the alien invasion metaphor. And, pod people arguably come from the Invasion of the Body Snatcher story. And also, I will reiterate, for those of you who have not listened to our 70s horror mega draft, I feel like this one gets left out of the greats in conversation. And I think it's because maybe it's not controversial. I've thought about this a lot, and I still think that that's why there's no shenanigans associated with this movie. So maybe that's why it doesn't necessarily stay, or maybe because it's a remake but John Carpenter's The Thing is a remake. I don't know why this isn't mentioned in the top 20 greatest horror movies of the last 100 years, but I think it should be. I love this movie. That said, there is a title. I have one pick left. I'm not sure that the other 2 gentlemen on this panel will be playing the movie that I rewatched today and gave me chills all over, and I really love it. So I wanted to go ahead and play this one here and now to make sure it's on, and I'll play something else later.
All right. Our first gold bloom on the list here at number 5, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, unless it is vetoed. Graham, the 1978 version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers here at number 5.
First of all, Clarke, I hope you saw my blinking when you mentioned a movie that you watched today that gave you chills, because I think based on your context clues, I also love that movie. Just saying. This was also my number 5. I'm thrilled by this.
There you go.
It was great. I was thinking that Clarke was going to play it higher up, so I think this is a perfect place for it. I think that, if we're talking about alien invasion movies and the paranoia aspect of it, this is arguably the best one, just of the, who are they. There's another movie that I'm going to talk about in the discards that obviously doesn't do as good a job as this one, but that I loved back in the 90s, also an alien invasion film. And I just love the idea of alien invasions being secret and being under our noses and not being overtly coming in with huge armadas of ships, but instead they're among us already. And I think that's a really scary idea.
A real Cold War allegory.
100%. And I think that this does that better than anyone. So big fan. Number 5, also my placement. High five.
Yeah, definitely. As I said before, that first Invasion of the Body Snatchers in the 50s and several movies like it, a Cold War metaphor. Although today, there's sort of a Cold War, you don't know your neighbor thing, just sort of within the United States itself. This only keeps becoming more and more potent. Billy Ray, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 1978 here at number 5.
Well, obviously, this is what I thought Clarke was referencing with the whole eye blink thing. This is a film that we famously colluded on in the best of the 1970s draft. This was my number 2 pick on the draft. It was not my number 1. I did not plan on playing it, which is why I did not blink for you, Clarke. I'm glad it's on the list. I, of course, wish it was higher. I would have been fine if it would have been number one. I think it is a masterpiece. I ride hard for Philip Kaufman. I think he's one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. Between this and The Right Stuff alone, I think you can make that case. I think this is an impeccably made film from beginning to end. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I talked so much about it like Clarke did on the 70s horror draft, but I also encourage people to check out. Everything about this film just works. Like the performances are spot on, the direction is spot on. Like the allegiance to the original source material is so spot on, but isn't overpowering and doesn't seem like a gimmick. Like it's just a wonderful film. I wish it was higher. I'm okay with it being at number 5 just so it is on this list, because I think it needs to be there, and the fact that it's in the top part of the list makes me really happy. So yeah, number 5, A-okay with me.
Billy Ray is fine with Leonard Nimoy, Veronica Cartwright, Brooke Adams, Donald Sutherland. What a cast. Jeff Goldblum in this movie. Clarke, you had one more thing to say about Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes. So I also wanted to point out that, so something I've noticed in alien invasion films post the 90s specifically, because in the 90s, we got so many big explosions, big, like high-tech alien invasions, right? And something that I have noticed about the 78 Invasion of the Body, something I have noticed about alien invasion films since the 90s is that they often try to go so far in the other direction. They show you a little microbe, and then it turns into like a little cell, and it jumps onto a person, and then they go, oh gosh, oh no, I'm an alien now. And like, I feel like they've gone too far in the direction of minimalist. So I bring this up because I really want to shout out and appreciate how in the 78 Body Snatchers, it's plant life, it is growth that we as regular human beings recognize. It is this mystery to the average person of like how a flower blossoms, how a vine or a tentacle grows. I love this choice. I feel like, and it's like, yeah, plants aren't scary, but it's the, like it's a visual representation that is not pure CGI, that is a little microbe that's supposed to scare me. And I think that that is a really great balance in between the Independence Days of the world, which obviously I love, and the, let's say, the movie Life, which actually I quite like, but that's not scary to me, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to point that out, how I really appreciate using and subverting life in a different format to represent the aliens and the invasion.
All right. At number 5, they're not vetoed, so that's locked in. Clarke played Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978. We're on to our number 4 pick. Only one person has 2 picks left at this point. That's Graham Skipper, and he is up next with his number 4.
Oh, all right. So to answer R. Bratton in the Scener chat, I am also a little worried that one of those movies is not getting on. And that is my great dilemma right now. The big question is, I know what Clarke's going to play at number 2. I'm pretty sure. I know what I must put at number 1. I have no idea what Billy Ray is going to do.
Billy Ray also still has a veto, Graham.
He does.
And he's got the veto override.
Play whatever you want, buddy.
I know. So, okay. All right. I am going to...
Billy Ray was just participated in a draft where something got vetoed to move it higher, and it ended up off the list entirely.
Well, I know. And the problem is what order do I put things, because he has a veto? All right.
Tough decision facing Graham Skipper.
This is very hard, guys. There's so many movies that I want on here, and like, there's one that's not going to make it.
Just tell Graham what you think he should do.
Please tell him what you should.
Tell Graham what he should do. Apologies for not being on Scener myself right now. I think I do,
Clarke.
I didn't want to risk my internet capabilities here.
Okay. All right, I am
Graham, you've got 5 seconds to send me a pick.
Billy Ray has a veto, so I am going to... Oh, God damn it. All right, let's see what happens.
I'm your Huckleberry.
All right. Here we go. Graham's been in too many of these rodeos to let a movie stay off the list entirely when it's something he needs on there. Okay. At number 4, with his second to last pick in the draft, Graham, like I said, not taking any chances. He has brought back around Independence Day.
I mean, it has to be on this list. Like, it has to be.
Graham, I love you.
Thank you. Thank you, Clarke. I love you. It has to be. There's no world where Independence Day can't be in the top 5 on alien invasion movies. And I've already waxed philosophical about how much I love it. Billy Ray, I respect your opinions, as I always do. I think you're wrong in this one, just as you think I'm very wrong about Signs. But Independence Day, it has to be here. Now, Graham, Billy Ray,
I have expected you. I have expected you to show up with Bill Pullman's Independence Day monologue, just like locked and
Can
ready
I tell
to go.
you? Can I tell you that in high school, once cell phones were able, or not in high school, in college, when cell phones were able to have ringtones that you could make, I made Bill Pullman's speech from Independence Day my ringtone on my phone for a period of time. I love this movie. Billy Ray has a veto, and he might use it here. I don't know if he just likes this movie that much, but I had to at least give it a shot. Independence Day at number 4.
All right, Graham brought it back, had to give it a shot. He and Billy Ray already spoke on Independence Day, so I'm going to go over to Clarke first. Clarke, Independence Day, it started at number 10. You definitely seemed in favor of Graham vetoing it to get it higher. It has reappeared here at number 4. How do you feel about that advancement?
I love the idea of it being in the top 5. It was higher on my list, but I only have one play left. And so I love it here. This is also like, I just want to reiterate, this movie is great. I don't think that I understand some people don't, some things are not going to be for everyone. Remember how Graham famously didn't like Signs, and Ray famously didn't like Independence Day. So but I think that this movie is the ultimate 90s blockbuster. I love 90s action films. I think this movie is, and Will Smith is my ultimate 90s action star. So this movie holds a very special. This is actually the first movie I also begged my dad to take me back to see multiple times. I remember buying it on VHS on Thanksgiving, forcing my dad to buy it for me. I had the hologram cover of the spaceship. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. So this is a very important movie to me. I think this is a great place for it. It was my number 1, but I want to play. Yeah, but on my list, I understand that it's not, I understand. But on Clarke Wolfe's list, this was number 1. But that said, I love it. I love it here.
All right, Clarke, number 1 on her personal list, Independence Day. God, yeah, I remember when this movie came out, it was a big deal. I remember like walking into Target and they handed me like a PC game promotion for Independence Day. It was everywhere.
Can I also reiterate that I know we took Day the Earth Stood Still, the original, off of the list, but I did watch it today for the first time, specifically for this draft. And the context, because I know Independence Day so well, so many of the scenes in Day the Earth Stood Still are directly referenced and reflected in Independence Day. It just made me appreciate Independence Day so much more for what it did for reference to the alien invasion subgenre, but also knocking the summer blockbuster out of the park.
Absolutely. Yeah. Day the Earth Stood Still, great movie. Sadly not eligible on this draft. Billy Ray, you do have a veto remaining. Are you gonna use it on Independence Day? You tried to put it back at the beginning of the list, back at number 10, and here it is in the top 5.
I mean, I certainly had no doubt that it was going to get played higher. I will, in 1996, while everybody else was rallying around Independence Day as the ultimate blockbuster, I was rallying around a little film called Twister, which I think is the ultimate 90s blockbuster.
Also great. Also a great film.
And while most people think Will Smith is the 90s action hero, big ups to my man, Bill Paxton, rest in peace. So yeah, look, like I said, though, I don't want it to be, portrayed like I don't like Independence Day. I like Independence Day. I just like a lot other more of invasion films more than I do Independence Day. So I'm not going to veto it at number 3 because I am curious about what Graham's going to play at number 1, and I'm going to save my veto for that. And I think there's probably a good chance that you're going to see a number 1 pick vetoed. I think there's probably a good chance. So we're going to find out. But yeah, no, Independence Day at number 4. That works for me. Let's do it.
All right. Graham lightly threatened that if Billy Ray vetoed this here, it may reappear higher on the list. Billy Ray said, "I'm your Huckleberry," and offered a threat of his own. I like this drama. Coming into the top spot, Luke very helpfully reminded us in our Zoom chat that Twister does in fact have the greatest ever PG-13 MPAA designation, which is intense depictions of very bad weather. Someday,
yes,
someday there will be this. For 3 years on my idea list for Screen Drafts, I have had a very bad weather draft, and it's going to happen someday. And I'm sure Twister will be on it. Okay. Graham picking at number 4, Independence Day, comes back.
Hey,
yes.
I just wanted to say that now, as we enter the number 3, I have to open this pickle beer.
Yeah, how's this pickle beer?
Oh, wait, yes, the pickle beer.
All right. Oh God.
I had a pickle beer at the Minnesota State Fair this summer that had a pickle in it and like a chunk of like pepper jack cheese or something.
It's extremely pickly.
Yeah. Why don't you take a sip of it for us?
Woo!
Now we're talking.
That's a mouthful of pickle.
Does it taste like pickle?
It tastes like pickle.
Billy Ray. Graham just said a mouthful of pickle and you just went right past and didn't have anything to say.
Look, I'm drunk. God damn it.
God, that was the easiest setup you've ever. That was an underhand pitch, and you just let it sail right past you.
Woo! Well.
I like how you refrained from saying softball just now.
I caught myself.
You did. That was great.
Let's just say that Billy Ray chose not to swing. I'm like, all right. Okay. Well, that's the pickle beer, everybody. It's not bad.
The pickle beer has that immediate of an effect. That's incredible. Okay.
It's not bad.
There are 3 picks remaining in the draft, 1 for each of our guest GMs. Here's what we've got coming up here. I'll do a reset for all the people at home. The number 3 pick is going to belong to Billy Ray. The number 2 pick is going to belong to Clarke, and the number 1 pick is going to belong to Graham. Billy Ray's got his veto and his veto override, and Graham and Clarke each have a veto. And I'll do a reset of the list as well. This is where the list is at right now, going into the top 3. Number 11, Evolution. Number 10, Superman 2. Number 9, Little Shop of Horrors. Number 8, A Quiet Place. Number 7, Bad Taste. Number 6, Signs. Number 5, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 1978. And number 4, Independence Day. Billy Ray, when you've got your number 3, your final pick in the draft, ready to go, send it on over.
Oh, Billy Ray, what are you going to do?
Oh, this is a really tough situation because I have 6 films that I think need to be on this list, and there are only 3 spots left.
This is horrible.
And so it actually really is horrible. And so I'm thinking about what I think Clarke will pick and what I think Graham will pick. And I have to go with this film only because we'll
just say we've got 2 Jeff Goldblums on the list.
Wait, which ones?
We've got 2. Well, Invasion of the Body Snatchers and Independence Day. And we do not yet have 2 of another performer that we were all very enthusiastic about having 2 earlier.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Okay.
But I'm also leaning towards a film which, out of all of the possible choices for this draft, I saw the most recently.
Okay.
God. Oh God.
Love a good bit of recency bias. Okay.
Oh,
All right.
Billy Ray, what have you done?
No,
What
this
have
is
you
just
done?
gonna be all right. All
No,
right.
I'm dead serious with this. I think
No,
this is
I know you're dead serious. I just not. This is another one. You're just really making me work tonight. Okay. All right. At number 3, Billy Ray, exploring the boundaries of our parameters. And
not at all. Not at all.
Isn't this an inversion?
No, not at all.
It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. They come to Earth in this movie?
Yes.
They do? Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well, then there you go. Okay.
They destroy Buenos Aires.
Oh, no. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Oh, interesting.
Here we go. I love this filmmaker, but it's been too long since I've
Interesting.
seen this movie. And as long as Billy Ray is not fucking with the eligibility parameters, I have no problem with this. At number 3, Billy Ray has selected Casper Van Dien, everyone's favorite, in Paul Verhoeven's Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers. Yes, they absolutely come to Earth.
They come to Earth? Okay.
The Arachnids come to Earth and they
Yeah, they do.
destroy Buenos Aires and multiple other cities in Earth as well.
It's the inciting incident.
Exactly. And then we go to Klendathu, which is when we attack the Arachnids. And this was a film that I had slept on for a long period of time. I did not watch this until the pandemic, frankly, for the first time. And I was sort of blown away by it. Like, I honestly did not know that it was as fucking good as it was. And, you know, I'm not going to talk about Casper Van Dien because let's be clear, that could have been any early 20s actor from like 1997, and it would have been the exact same. But what I will talk about is Jake Busey, Clancy Brown, Seth Gilliam, Michael Ironside, fucking Rue McClanahan. I am literally wearing Golden Girls pajamas right now. All hail to Rue McClanahan.
How
who
did
is
it take
also
you
in this
so
film.
long to watch a root? She's not in that many movies.
No, you're right. I have no excuse for it. I think it's fucking a tragedy that I did not watch this film much earlier. I adore this film now. I've seen it 4 times, I think, since I watched it in the pandemic. Like, I've seen all the sequels now as well. I think it works as a science fiction film. I think it works as a satire. I think it really works as a satire, which was really unexpected for me. I think the visual effects for 1997 hold up remarkably well for 2021, to the point where I was a little flabbergasted. For those who don't know, like I said earlier, it is about, you know, this alien race, the Arachnids, who do invade Earth way in the future. And there are people signing up for the Federation who are tasked with battling these creatures on their home planet of Klendathu. And that's where, in fairness, most of the action does take place outside of Earth, but the inciting incident is Earth. The invasion of Earth is what incites the incident. Mm-hmm. And I just adore this film. I think it is so well made. I think Paul Verhoeven's attention to detail and the way he really does attack the satire of the film is really spot on. And I enjoyed this more and more every time I watch it, which was shocking to me because I waited literally how long? 24 years to watch this film from the time that it hit theaters. And I knew that I wanted it to be on this list. I'm hoping that my putting on this list doesn't put the other 2 films that I want on the list in jeopardy. It could. I'm willing to take that gamble. Starship Troopers. Hell yeah.
All right. Starship Troopers from Billy Ray Brewton. Sounds like the invasion's more of an inciting incident, but I don't know if I have enough to override it. Graham, how do you feel about Starship Troopers at number 3?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is one of my favorite movies. I really love this movie. It didn't make my list because I feel like the alien invasion is just the inciting incident. Yes, it happens in the movie, but it feels a little like if you're going to do, I don't know, a draft about murder movies, and at the beginning there's one murder and the rest of the time it's like them trying to find the murderer. I don't know. It just it feels like I feel like it's eligible because yes, there is an alien invasion in the movie. I feel like it's interesting in that, the whole movie is effectively about our response to an alien invasion. But at number 3, it feels a little bit like it's so that the alien invasion part of it is so small percentage wise that there are so many other movies where it's more about that I struggle with this. Now, that said,
now, and I will remind you, Graham, and this is a consideration because you're on the show a lot, but the vetoes do not roll over from live shows because I don't know when I'm going to post it on the main feed. So there's no point in saving a veto. I don't want to try and influence you, but that's just, I wanted to remind you.
No, I know. And my dilemma here is that Billy Ray has a veto. I feel extremely strongly about the movie that I want to put at number 1. And I love Starship Troopers. It's certainly an eclectic choice here. And a part of me wants to extend a little bit of goodwill towards Billy Ray in anticipation of my number 1.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this, Graham.
Can you be bought, Billy Ray?
Well, let me say this, Graham. I will say fundamentally that there is no chance that what you're going to play at number 1 is what. So I'm saying if you want, I'm not trying to get a veto out of this because I want Starship Troopers to be at number 3. But if you were to veto it, there's no way that what I'm going to replace it with is what you would play at number 1.
Mm-hmm.
No way. No chance.
Okay. And the other dilemma here is that Clarke also has a veto. Oh man, there's so many good choices here. I am going to. I've already spent a veto on a Billy Ray pick. I'm going to pass this one on to Clarke.
All right, Graham, deeply conflicted, but does not want to use 2 vetoes on Billy Ray, just I guess on principle. Clarke, we're over to you. Are you in the Graham camp? Are you thinking about using your veto?
Well, here's what I'm concerned about. I don't want retribution from my friend Billy Ray.
There's no retribution. There's no retribution happening.
Because here's what I'll say. I don't think that what I would play at number 2 is like, oh, how dare you? This is wild, right? I feel like I love this gesture, but I do agree with what our commissioner and host and what Graham have pointed out, which is that I always expect Starship Troopers to get played if it could possibly get played in any contest, because the people that love Starship Troopers love it. I do feel like this one, when I think of Starship Troopers, I think of what happens in space. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. But you know what? I only have 1 veto and it doesn't roll over. So I'm going to use my veto here. I'm going to do it. I think that this movie has a real place on so many lists. But that said, I don't know if Alien Invasion is where I would put Starship Troopers. So I'm going to do it.
All right, Clarke is vetoing.
Thank you, Clarke. Thank you.
Graham,
I'm going to do it respectfully, though.
A respectful veto. Graham, you're thanking Clarke, but I hope you really enjoy the taste of that pickle beer, because we do have that extra rule this evening.
No! Oh, no! Oh, and I've been just sipping it. I have this whole can. Oh, this is horrible.
Veto, and we are finishing our
you know
drinks.
What? Worth it.
I'm going to have to go and get, I'm going to have to
Cheers.
leave and get more.
To the resistance. For usual.
Woo.
Yes, man.
It's like just chomping down a giant dill pickle, just like in one bite.
But y'all also, I don't think the thing is getting played on this draft.
I'm a little worried about that.
Wait, what?
Woo.
Wait, are Graham and Clarke both saying that they're not going to play The Thing?
I said nothing. Dealing with a pickle beer, Billy Ray.
When you add a drinking game element to this, people just start getting loose-lipped with their strategy. Graham, finish that pickle beer. Pickle. Gross.
Empty.
It's horrible.
Wait.
Clarke, what are you drinking over there again? Grapefruit vodka?
Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah, no, of course
But
not.
also Deep Eddy's grapefruit from Austin.
Oh.
Deep Eddy's, if you'd like to sponsor me. Just, I don't have an event or anything, but just me. If you'd like to sponsor me, this is my drink of choice at Fantastic Fest every single year.
Look at that. Okay. Woo, I'm gonna have to go get another beer. But first, Billy Ray, you got vetoed. I need a new number 3. We don't have any nothing from the vintage era yet. I'm curious if we're gonna get through the whole draft without anything in black and white.
I don't know that we are, but now I'm in a conundrum because I've been vetoed
A couple times.
Thank you, Clay, for that reminder.
You're welcome.
So now I have to decide between I have 2 films that I'm waffling between that I think if I don't play one of these films, I don't know that either of these would get played if I don't play one of them. So I think whichever one I play, the other one is not going to get on the list.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a shame. And now what they just said has got me really concerned about one of them, because otherwise I already knew exactly what I was going to play as a replacement. Because
a film that famously...
I did expect Starship Troopers to get vetoed, so I had a replacement sort of ready to go.
Right. And now you're worried about a film that has famously in the annals of ScreamDrafts, maybe one of the most famous exclusions, and it happened on another live show.
Wow. Okay. Well, then I'm going to... Okay, based on the information that has just entered my head, I'm going to make a very specific choice here.
Right.
And
anytime.
But you know what? No, fuck it. I'm not going to make that choice.
Billy Ray. Oh, be careful. Be careful.
I'm going to be safe, I think. And nope, I'm going to do what's in my heart and not my head. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm going with my heart and not my head.
Bratton saying The Thing 2011 is my favorite comment ever in the chat.
I have as someone who played The Thing on a previous draft, the horror remakes draft, I played The Thing 2011. Thank you.
I one time had dental surgery, and they had a TV above me, and I could put it on whatever channel I wanted. And there was a channel playing The Thing prequel thing, remake thing, whatever that was, that I'd never seen. And I watched that while I was having dental surgery done. That was an intense experience.
Yeah. Which was more unpleasant?
I mean, they were both kind of equally unpleasant. I was sort of in a fugue state the whole time.
The prequel thing's not the worst thing in the world. Okay. Clarke left, I assume, to refill her alcohol, which actually I will have to do after I present this pick. There's Clarke. She did not leave her home. That's a good sign. Okay. Here we go. Billy Ray went on a whole roller coaster of emotions just in his own head there and ended up here. Wow. At number 3. Fascinating. Indisputably eligible, this one. And should not come as a surprise, I suppose. One, because I believe Billy Ray's Scripts Gone Wild have hosted. Actually, I think I was part of this Scripts Gone Wild.
Let me also just say that this film, Fantastic Fest, has its heart and roots in Austin. So does this film. When we were in Austin, Billy Ray, last week, 10 years ago, I don't remember. The time has turned into a flat circle. Our friend Ryan Marker, who is sadly missing this evening, took a whole day to take a car and go tour filming locations of Richard Linklater movies in Austin.
Perhaps he should have added Robert Rodriguez filming locations as well. At number 3, Billy Ray has selected a film that he might just play in a couple weeks on the Dimension Films draft. Robert Rodriguez's The Faculty.
Wow.
That's right. The Faculty. This is a film I adore. This is my heart choice. This is a film about aliens who take over the faculty at a high school and slowly start seeping into the student population as well. It's part Body Snatchers. It's basically Richard Linklater, or not Richard Linklater, sorry. It's Robert Rodriguez's sort of take on Body Snatchers. It is entertaining from beginning to end. It features one hell of a banger cast. You've got Josh Hartnett, you've got Elijah Wood, you've got Jordana Brewster, Clea Duvall. It's just Sean Hattie. It's a wonderful film from beginning to end. I like it more every time I see it. I think we're talking about alien invasion films. Like, this film is rooted in and is so much about the idea of the alien invasion and the slow seeping in of that invasion throughout, the population of what you're seeing. And it starts out at the faculty, it seeps into the students, it just keeps going and going. And you've got this one group of students that are sort of banding together to try to fight the invasion. I saw this in theaters when it first came out. I was in high school. It hit at the exact right time for me. I love the soundtrack. I think the soundtrack is a banger soundtrack. I got to stop using the word banger because I've used it like 40 times tonight. I just adore this film. It's one of my favorite Robert Rodriguez films. I think he really understood a lot of what was making those sort of teen horror sci-fi films of the time pop. He really understood that and took it to the next level. I put this in the same conversations with films like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legends and things like that. Like, I think it has that kind of oomph to it. And it was always on my list. I just didn't know where it was going to land. I do feel that if I didn't play it at number 3, it wasn't going to make the list at all. It still might not make the list at all. It very well could not. And that's okay if it doesn't. I just wanted to at least talk about it. And getting to talk about it is enough for me, because I think this is still an underrated sci-fi horror film to a large degree. And when I think about Fantastic Fest and I think about Austin and I think about all the things that I love about this festival, I think Faculty rises to the number 3 spot for me.
All right, Faculty, a very fun movie. Oh, this was a Christmas release, December 25th. Oh, that's amusing. Jon Stewart in The Faculty.
Jon Stewart in The Faculty.
Playing Professor Edward Furlong is how he's credited.
Oh, yeah.
On IMDb.
So many of the characters are credited in bizarre ways.
This cast is incredible. Jon Stewart, Usher, Robert Patrick, B.B. Newirth, Christopher McDonald, Piper Laurie, Famke Janssen, Salma Hayek, Sean Hattie, Josh Hartnett, Laura Harris, Clea Duvall, Jordana Brewster. What a cast. The Faculty at number 3. Graham, you're first up in the veto order, and you are the sole remaining. I mean, actually, Billy Ray's got his veto, but you are the remaining veto, non-Billy Ray veto. The Faculty, you look like you've been going through some things.
I have had a whole range of emotions here. I really like this movie a lot. It didn't quite make my list. I certainly never expected it to be at number 3. That said, I really like the list, or I really like this movie. I think that it certainly fits way better than Starship Troopers does. I, again, have a very specific movie in mind for number 1, and I just don't know what's going to happen at this point. So I'm very reticent to use my veto. And I also really like what Billy Ray said about this being a Fantastic Fest pick. That really hit me. It's an Austin movie. Robert Rodriguez, I mean, he's arguably like the Austin genre filmmaker. I mean, he's the dude. And this is one of his best movies. So on that criteria, look, we're going to have a filmmaker, I think, left off this list. And that's a tragedy. But I think I'm going to leave the faculty on. No veto from me.
Cackling at Luke. I know he's our. I'm cackling. I was muted. I am cackling at him.
Yeah, poor Luke.
Wait, Luke, are you happy with this?
Luke's got to take like a bath after this. He's got to like go like put on some soothing music, like do some deep breathing techniques.
Oh man. All right. I think I know the filmmaker that Graham is referring to. A couple of great alien invasion movies from that gentleman.
I mean, but the problem is that Billy Ray's gonna like. He won't play that.
That I don't think that you're accurate in that. I don't think you're accurate in that.
Well, I've made my decision. I stand by it.
Had you vetoed it, I would have played The Thing. But
well, but you didn't play The Thing, Billy Ray.
No,
you didn't. You played
that would have been my next play, though. That would have been my next play.
All right. Everybody is very afraid. I mean, Graham saves his veto. I guess he's saving it. The only other person who's got to pick is Clarke. I guess he's saving it for whatever Clarke's pick is at number 2. Everybody's very afraid of engendering the wrath of Billy Ray, which I don't know. He's kind of got this pall over the show.
Well, I do have a veto override and a veto left, and there are only 2 spots left. So I'm feeling very powerful right now.
Graham declined to use a veto.
And Billy Ray, I just want to remind you that I let you keep this pick.
Oh, I remember.
He doesn't care, Graham. I don't know why you people think...
No. I absolutely care about the faculty. As you said, we read it as a Scripts Gone Wild read. It is one of my absolute favorite films of that era. I am very excited that I got it to number 3 on this.
Did I read the Jon Stewart part in that? I don't remember.
You did.
I feel like you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did. And I adore it.
And I had to read the alien girl who says some very questionable commentary on people's preferences. Some stuff has not aged well.
Not really. I'm fascinated that you people think you can curry favor with Billy Ray Brewton. I don't know how that strategy works out necessarily. Okay, but so Clarke, you do not have a veto. The faculty locked in at number 3 because Graham didn't veto. How do you feel about this pick? Kicking off the top 3.
Okay, so here's what I have to say to you, chat, because I see you, I hear you, I recognize you.
Who are we talking to?
Chat.
Chat.
Chad?
No, the chat.
Oh, the chat.
Seen her. Come on, Clay. Get with the lingo.
All right, Grandpa. Grandpa.
Wait, Graham? Grandpa?
No, Graham knows what chat is.
Okay.
Yeah, Graham knows how to talk to chat. It's our fearless leader here who apparently does not.
Tell us what chat is saying.
So here's what chat is saying. And chat, I see you and I get you. However, I do have to say, I'm not with you on the they live of it all. The thing of it all, that John Carpenter's The Thing is in my top 10 favorite horror movies of all time. However, if I'm going to play an alien invasion draft, similar to like Starship Troopers, technically, yes, it could The Thing / Alien connect and infiltrate the rest of the world. Yes. But I got to be honest with you, like, I'm less heartbroken over The Thing not being on this list, if that makes sense. And I think that what I would say is that our top 3s are going to be our personal number 1s or our personal passion projects, if that makes sense. So just prepare yourself for that. Yeah, thank you. Yes. Now playing Jim, you're right. I am keeping it real. It is Fantastic Fest. I have dranken, and I said dranken on purpose, all of the Deep Eddies. Grapefruit vodka, # not sponsored. If you would like to sponsor me in my life, you know where to find me. However, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna keep it real with you about all your favorite Hollywood figures. I'm gonna keep it real with you about this draft. This is where this is going. I know what Graham is gonna put at number 1. I do not think he knows what I'm gonna put at number 2.
Interesting.
No, I have no idea what Graham is going to put at number 1. I have no idea.
All right, well, Clarke and Graham have been mind melding here throughout this evening. Clarke thinks she knows what Graham's playing at number 1. Billy Ray, no idea. Okay. I mean, we've got 2 spots left. Clarke has sent me her pick at number 2. Locked and loaded and ready to go. 2 spots left. Billy Ray, that was his final pick in the draft, but Billy Ray does still have his veto and his veto override, so his influence can certainly continue on the remainder of this list. Graham's got one pick left at number 1. Clarke has sent me her number 2. And Graham still has his veto. This is far from over.
May I say one thing before you announce what my number 2 is, Clay?
You absolutely may.
Thank you. You are such a gentleman. What I would say is that I think that Graham thinks my number 2 is going to be directed by the same director as his number 1, and it is not.
Wait, what?
Interesting.
Interesting. Now I am confused.
I'm very confused as well. Oh, no. I know now exactly what Clarke is going to play, and I am fully on board. Yes, do it. Yes.
Wait, what?
Yes, I know exactly what it's going to be. Yes.
You figured it out, Billy Ray?
I did, and I know, and I'm very on board.
Okay. All right. But what Clarke said was about what Graham thought was going to happen.
No, but that makes me know exactly what her number 2 is going to be, and I'm so on board.
All right. Well, I'm just totally spun around. I have no idea what's happening. That's fine. Actually, Clarke has sent me her pick at number 2. One of my discarded trivia questions was about this franchise.
Wait. Oh.
And about which part of this franchise would not be eligible. And it was a test to see if any of you would know what the title of that movie was. 2 movies in this franchise are certainly eligible. One of them was directed by a ScreamDrafts alumnus.
Damn it, I was wrong.
Billy Ray was wrong. Here we go. At number 2, Clarke has selected a film that I, not to brag or anything, that I did not throw up while I was watching. At number 2, Clarke has selected Matt Reeves' Cloverfield.
Yes, I have. I would love to tell you why. So here's why. I love this movie. I rewatched it today, actually. And so the other thing that I think that the folks who are on this chat thought I was going to pick was Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds.
Yes, that's what I thought you were going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And here's the thing. If I have to choose a 9/11 alien invasion film, I actually choose Cloverfield. I love both of them. And actually, if I could choose, War of the Worlds would have been my number 4 and Cloverfield would have been my number 3. But I only can choose one. And I'm choosing Cloverfield. And it is because I think that this movie, for the alien invasion subgenre, highlights and emphasizes exactly what this subgenre is all about. I think that Matt Reeves and Drew Goddard and producer J.J. Abrams shooting an alien invasion movie and making it look like 9/11 and doing it in the found footage genre was brilliant. And I also think that Matt Reeves is one of the best, and this is just me on my own soapbox, but I'm gonna go with it. Matt Reeves is, I think, one of the best directors working in genre filmmaking today. And I mean that very specifically in that I think that Matt Reeves uses genre storytelling to tell human stories better than anyone right now. I think that Cloverfield is a great example of talking about 9/11, of telling a love story. I think Let Me In is a great film. It is a shame that it came in the wake of Let the Right One In, which is also such a great adaptation of a novel. And I think his 2 entries into the Planet of the Apes franchise use the genre to talk about human issues better than almost anybody who is making genre films today. I think Guillermo del Toro is the only other person I hold with such genre relevance as I do Matt Reeves. The last thing I'll say is I watched Cloverfield today and I want to talk about the directing. I actually made notes because I was like, you know what? I think that this is important. So, and the biggest thing I'll say is this: found footage as a subgenre, as a medium, is really like thumbs down, frowned upon because it became so schlock. But what I will say is that the best found footage filmmakers are arguably, I think, the best filmmakers, period. Because if you are using found footage, you are selecting what the audience sees, and you are doing it with intention, and Cloverfield is absolutely one of those things. The movie is scary, and it is tense, and it is funny, and it is also heartfelt. And I love the relationships, and I love the scares, and I love the invasion element. I do love the creature in terms of the little creatures popping off of it. We can't forget about that. It's so much more than a kaiju like decimating New York City. And so anyway, and yes, to the people in chat, I love 10 Cloverfield Lane. But if our topic is alien invasion, what we see from 10 Cloverfield Lane is the tentacle, pun intended, of the alien invasion, whereas Cloverfield is the actual alien invasion. And so that is my spiel. I love this film. I think it is truly a great movie. And I think when we look back on the films of 2000 plus, we will look at Cloverfield as a masterwork.
All right. 2008's Cloverfield at, number 2 from Clarke, an auspicious placement for that movie. I believe, that's a Marquee of Fame entrant, unless it gets vetoed. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, Billy Ray, you were present for that. Did I play that on the found footage draft?
I believe one of us did on the found footage draft. Graham, do the right thing.
Well, Graham has no vetoes. I don't even. Oh, he does have a veto.
Yes,
You
I
both
do.
have a veto.
Yes,
That's
he
right.
does.
Oh my
yes,
goodness.
he does.
Graham, you held on to that veto.
I did.
Graham, Clarke made her pick at number 2. We're over to you, buddy. What do you think about Cloverfield in that number 2 spot?
That was very eloquently said, Clarke. I have to admit that I have never really been able to connect with this movie. I appreciate this movie on an intellectual level of the 9/11 allegory, of the filmmaking of it. I definitely appreciate all that. I have always felt extremely let down by the creature design of this movie. However,
you do fancy yourself a kaiju connoisseur.
Well, what I was going to say is that there was a version of my own list where there were a couple of Godzilla films that were going to be on there. And for whatever reason, there's just so many good movies, and it's just so hard to like make a list like this. Cloverfield, like I said, I really appreciate it. I appreciate it especially for what it did for found footage, which is a subgenre that I really love. I really appreciate the idea of having a kaiju movie from the perspective of people on the ground. It's real hard for me to wrap my head around it being at number 2. Number 2 on the list of the greatest alien invasion films of all time. It's real hard for me. I appreciate your love for this movie, and I fully appreciate the eloquence with which you stated, what you did. I just really, I'm sorry, Clarke. I have to use my veto.
Whoa,
oh, Graham, you're gonna regret that.
I have to use my veto. I'm sorry.
A veto from Graham Skipper. I hope everybody has their drinks handy.
Do you mean the beer I just opened?
I mean, yeah.
Billy Ray, while I drink my beer, per the drinking game we agreed upon, it's unlikely Cloverfield will come back. So tell us how you feel about Cloverfield.
Look, I like Cloverfield. I don't dislike the film. I think it's fine. Number 3 on this list, or number 2 on this list, I think is absolutely too high for this film. This was, to me, when I was considering it, was like bottom, like I was considering it, but for like bottom 2, like not for the top of this list. I love Matt Reeves. I think Matt Reeves is an incredible filmmaker. I think what he did with Let Me In, what he did with the Planet of the Apes films. Like, I think he is an incredible filmmaker. Cloverfield to me was the starting point of that. He got better as he went along. I don't think Cloverfield is the best sort of example of his filmmaking talent. I would have rather seen 10 Cloverfield Lane on this list personally. I think it's a better film. I think it's better made. And while I agree with Clarke that it is not as representative of an alien invasion, the idea of that alien invasion permeates through that entire film and colors every single second of 10 Cloverfield Lane. And so I would have rather seen that. I don't love Cloverfield. I mean, I enjoy it. I don't love it. So yeah.
I just want to say real fast, before anything has been done that can't be undone, that when Billy Ray picked The Faculty, I said, you know what? I think our top 3 are going to be our number ones in contention. And so I just want to say that if you want to take this away from me, I think both of you are going to be fucking pissed.
Hold on. Well, the faculty was my number 4. Well, it wasn't my number 1.
I just want to say that your final picks, I said, were our final picks. So if you want to take this away from me, you're both going to be fucking pissed at what's at number 2.
I think let's go for it.
I at this point, I would prefer the chaos pick to Cloverfield. So
you know what?
It's already happened.
Shame on both of you. I erase all of our goodwill. Shame on both of you.
Clarke. Oh, Clarke.
No.
I'm gonna set both of these picks on fire because I thought we had an understanding. Because Graham's gonna try to put fucking stupid ass Close Encounters of the Third Kind at number 1. That movie sucks. Roy sucks. All of that shit sucks. I'm not even going to play War of the Worlds at my number 2. It's not happening. I'm setting that shit on fire. If you're not going to give me goddamn fucking Cloverfield at number 2, I'm setting this draft on fire.
This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted.
Set it on fire.
Hold on.
You don't know what I'm going to play. You don't know what I'm going to play.
Graham is not going to play Close Encounters.
The reveal that Clarke thought Graham was going to play Close Encounters at number 1.
Close Encounters is not eligible.
Clarke. Okay. Yeah, Close Encounters. Yeah, I would probably override that. Clarke, it's happened. Graham vetoed you. Billy Ray egged him on. So if you want to hold a grudge against both of them, that's entirely your prerogative. But I do need a replacement pick at number 2.
Chaos.
You know, just the coming out party of the adult Shia LaBeouf. From producer Steven Spielberg.
No.
Oh my God,
action
Clarke.
maven.
Oh, Clarke.
The greatest action director.
Oh, Clarke.
Of our time. I present to you.
Wait, hold on, Clarke.
Transformers. What? Hold on. What? I present to you, Michael.
No, I mean, hold on,
Bay's...
as in send it, follow the procedure and send it to me in the chat. Is what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. I'll type it into the chat for you right now, Clay.
Wow. Hey, man. You know,
I mean, I'd rather have Transformers than I would have Cloverfield.
Well, then that's stupid.
So I'm okay
that's
with
straight
that.
Up stupid,
I'm
Billy
okay
Ray.
with
That's
that.
straight up dumb. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well, the fact that you're playing it says it all.
Oh,
this is incredible.
Hey, if you want to play something to just blow up the draft, I'm all about
that. Was on my peripheral list. And if you're not going to let me have the movie that I specifically played Body Snatchers higher so that I could have
Hold on a second. Hold on a second,
could
Clay.
have the faculty.
Wait, Clay, you haven't read the pick yet, have you?
what? No, I have not. Yeah, no.
Wait. Billy Ray, don't do that.
What are you
Don't do
getting
that.
at?
Billy
Because
Ray.
I have a veto override.
Yeah. So please, Billy Ray,
Trying to think now. Do I want
dare you.
Cloverfield?
I dare you to veto override.
You have a
me.
veto. You veto override.
I dare you to veto me on
I
this
have a
one.
veto override as well. I could
Veto
override
override
Kim's
would-
veto.
What the hell would you do with a veto override?
He's saying he wants to retroactively go back and override Graham's veto.
I've got until you read the pick to override Graham's veto.
No, she delivered it.
She already read the pick.
Well, you haven't read it. If
You
he
haven't
wants to
read it
give
out
me,
yet.
if he wants to give me my Cloverfield so that we can
Veto
get back to the
override.
real world.
Veto override. Veto override.
She delivered it.
That doesn't matter. You haven't read it yet. I remember in previous drafts that you've said until I read it, it is it is fair game. I veto override Graham's veto. I veto override Graham's veto.
London has fallen, everybody. London has fallen.
London has fallen. Olympus has fallen.
Cloverfield.
No.
That's a check, though. That's a
I have to say. I have to say. I think that the idea of the veto override must be in good faith with not knowing what the alternate
the next pick is going to be.
That doesn't matter though. We have had discussions in the past, and you can check it out yourself, Clay. You have said until I say the pick, the veto override is valid. So if you want to go against what you said in the past,
regardless,
fine.
Billy Ray, regardless, Transformers is a better pick than Cloverfield. So
no. I actually don't believe that. I actually don't.
Graham.
Oh, Clarke.
Cloverfield is a better pick. I will veto override Graham's veto.
Billy Ray,
I know from ScreamDrafts history.
Yeah. Billy Ray channeling the fucking spirit of Adam B. Very.
I think you should let this happen.
Telling me that I'm just saying that. All right, Billy Ray, this is not because you badgered me and we're live, so don't take this as precedent.
I never take anything as precedent with you, Clay.
Thank you. Clarke did very brazenly let the world know what the pick was going to be before it was officially played.
And I believed her.
So you may veto override.
Wow. All right.
At number 2.
Veto override.
All right. There we go.
Here's the thing. I like Cloverfield. I like Cloverfield. I would not be on. I think the replacement is garbage. So I'm not gonna submit to garbage on the list. Cloverfield is not garbage. Transformers is garbage. I'm gonna veto over.
I'm just hoping at this point that this was all a grand improvised ploy on the part of Clarke Wolfe.
Is this a bit? Is this a bit?
Clarke. What Clarke just did, I respect the hell out of. Because not only did she absolutely got the film that she wanted in the top 3 on the top 3 strictly by doing what I would have done 99% of the time. She pulled in a large extent a Billy Ray, but she did it better and made it a Clarke. And I'm going to respect that, and I'm going to veto override it because I think Cloverfield should be at number 2 over Transformers.
Thank you.
I want to say that I agree with what the chat is saying right now, that Transformers was a masterful play. It
was not a bluff. I don't think it was.
100% it was not. 100% it was not. I fully appreciated the play of Transformers. I thought that was wonderful. And look, like I said, I appreciate Cloverfield. Hey, whatever, it's on the list. Cool. And we all got our
that
own
could
little...
be the other tagline for ScreamDrafts. Hey, whatever, it's on the list. Okay.
I veto override. Does that mean we finish our drinks?
No, there was nothing with a veto override. Also, I don't have another drink, and I'm rocketing towards drunk, and I got to close this show out. Okay. We've got one pick remaining. One pick left.
This was going to be a 2-hour draft.
We're not doing too bad. We're at like 3. We're not doing too bad. Okay.
Yes.
All right. It's good we went online because I don't know if we could have gotten away with this in person it's a 3-hour show at Fantastic Fest. Okay. Graham has already sent me his pick at number 1. Okay. Let's see. So Billy Ray's got a veto. That's the only blessing left on the board. Graham, very specifically, he won trivia. He said, I've got a number 1 in mind. He carried that through the entire show, kept saying, I got a rock solid number one that has to be number one. Graham, is this is the number one that you've been holding on to the entire show?
This is it. And let's just say long live Fantastic Fest with this pick.
I'm going to take that to mean that this was perhaps a Fantastic Fest premiere, or maybe something that famously played at Fantastic Fest. Graham, is that assumption correct?
Yep.
All right. What am I looking at? I'm looking at a fucking blank thing. This is not going to help me at all. Okay, I need my list of picks. Here we go. All right. Billy Ray's got a veto, but unless if he decides not to exercise it, this will be the final ScreamDrafts / Fantastic Fest Alien Invasion mini mega draft list drafted by Billy Ray Brewton, Clarke Wolfe. And here at the number one spot, Mr. Graham Skipper. Number 11, Evolution. Number 10, Superman 2. Number 9, Little Shop of Horrors, 1986. Number 8, A Quiet Place. Number 7, Bad Taste. Number 6, Signs. Number 5, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978. That's a Marquee of Fame entrant. Number 4, Independence Day. Number 3, The Faculty. Number 2, Cloverfield. That's another Marquee of Fame entrant. And at number 1, Graham has selected yet another Marquee of Fame entrant. This one previously drafted, I believe, on the One Crazy Night draft, unless I'm mistaken. Graham has selected Attack the Block.
Believe.
Yeah.
Look, Alien Invasion, I think everybody immediately thinks of something like Independence Day. Big armadas of ships, thousands of aliens, alien troops coming in. Billy Ray's taking a piss. What I love about Attack the Block is that it does a lot of what Clarke is talking about with Cloverfield, where you see this huge thing happening from a very personal perspective. For me, Attack the Block, it has characters that you initially hate, that you grow to love over the course of the film. It shows income inequality. It shows class inequality. It shows the perspectives of all these different characters that are all just trying to survive. It unites them against this common enemy, which are these completely unique in the history of cinematic aliens, that are all done practically really, really well. The film manages to be both exciting, horrifying, hilarious, action-packed. It's everything that I want out of a film like this. I cry every single time that I watch it, hearing everybody chanting Moses' name at the end of the movie as he is coming out of the building after saving the world from this alien invasion. It gives me goosebumps every time. I love Attack the Block. For me, it was always number one because it is it's an alien invasion film, but it is also an eminently personal film. I think that the acting across the board is absolutely top notch. I think that the story and where it's set is just something that it not only is like, a fun. It's a fun alien invasion movie and it's a fun popcorn picture, but it's also something that's deeply meaningful and actually has something to say. And that's why for me it's so important. It's also a big Fantastic Fest movie. I love about every year, all my friends on Facebook that were there at that midnight premiere, they all post, I remember on this day back in blah, 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 we all saw Attack the Block. We had no idea what it was. And seeing that movie in a theater, which I did when it came out, and having that pulse of energy when that final act hits, it's unlike anything else. Attack the Block for me is hands down the number one alien invasion film. And I'm I'm honored to play it, and I hope that Billy Ray allows it to stand.
All right. Inner City versus Outer Space. Joe Cornish's Attack the Block, starring John Boyega and Jodie Whittaker. Here at number 1, Billy Ray, you are the owner of the sole remaining veto. Are you going to veto Graham with his number 1 pick of Attack the Block?
I love Attack the Block. Without Attack the Block, we would not have the sexy pile of gorgeousness that is John Boyega.
Pile
of gorgeousness. He is sexy as hell, and I love John Boyega. And this is a really fun film. I think it would have been great earlier in the list, so I'm going to veto it here.
Wow!
Without hesitation,
Holy
veto it here.
Shit!
It wasn't even in my top 20, Graham.
Holy
so
shit!
Vetoing it without question. Wasn't even in my top 20.
I
really do adore this film. I do genuinely adore this film. I think it's creative. I think it's great. I just don't think it's the number 1 list on an alien invasion film. I think that is ridiculous. Like, I would rather Independence Day be number 1 than Attack the Block.
Wow.
Like, I don't understand that choice at number 1. I thought there were about 3 other films that you might have chosen at number 1 before Attack the Block.
Billy Ray, what have you done?
I'll take Chaos. I'm okay with Chaos over a film that I think is not deserving of number 1. I don't think this is
okay.
This is like a number 7 pick, a number 8 or a number 7 pick, not a number 1. No way.
Graham. Oh, okay. Well, no shortage of fireworks here. Oftentimes on these drafts, there's a lot of gameplay and fireworks at the back end of the draft. And tonight, vetoes at number 3, at number 2, veto overrides, all kinds of insane shit. Okay,
Whew.
Graham.
Oh man,
Graham.
I mean, look.
While you ponder, we got to let Clarke chime in.
Yeah.
Attack
Okay.
the Block.
Yeah.
So while you ponder a replacement at number 1, Clarke, Attack the Block. Were you happy with this pick?
Listen,
how do you feel about this veto at number 1?
I just had Mark Bernardin, the great Mark Bernardin, on my show on Wolf Call to talk about
Mark.
Attack the Block. So as I kind of posited, if Billy Ray wanted to do, The Faculty, and I wanted to do Cloverfield, and Graham wanted to do Attack the Block in our 3-2-1, I was like, you know what? Let's let it happen, because we get our things, we get our top choices. I mean, Billy Ray, I will say that on my personal opinion, just my personal opinion, I do not know if I would put Attack the Block this high on the list. That said, it did seem like we were going 3-2-1, right? Billy Ray's going to get his number 3, and I'm going to get my number 2, and Graham's going to get his number 1. And so I was like, I accepted that, because that's how we make these ScreamDrafts lists. So I'm shocked. I'm surprised. I'm not upset, but don't know what's going to happen next.
All right.
Chaos reigns.
So
yes,
look,
is raining. Okay, Graham. The whole show, you were saying, I don't care as long as I get my number 1. Your number 1 has been vetoed. Every blessing on the board has been used this evening. All 4 vetoes.
Oh man.
I ran out of booze, so I was kind of taking the last dregs out of my crunched up cans.
I have no more booze to drink either.
By the way, we all did, Clay. We all ran out of our booze.
We've all run out of our booze. Graham, okay, but Graham, here we go.
All right,
we need a replacement at number 1, and like I said, all vetoes have been used. So this will, indisputably, whatever you pick here will be the number 1 on the list.
Oh.
What planet are you from?
Okay, so look, here's what I'm going to say. I have a chaos pick that would make me so happy to play right now. However, There is a pick that I think is not the consensus pick that everybody thinks they should play, that probably Billy Ray wants me to play. And then there is the consensus pick that everybody wants me to play. I'm going to go with
multiple consensus picks.
Yeah.
If you played Battlefield Earth right now, I would be okay.
I would never stop laughing, but that is a choice.
It's a choice. It's not as good a choice as my chaos pick. Make yourself happy.
Luke is
chiming in. You want to? This is really, really hard.
Luke is enjoying the
chaos. You guys, I'm really.
Luke is just vibrating over there.
Look, oh man, this is hard because I love chaos reigning. I love chaos reigning.
What does the chat say about Attack the Block getting vetoed?
I think they're cool with it. I think chat is cool with it. I'm not saying that is the overall consensus, but chat's yeah, okay.
All right. Chat is on board with the veto. Graham, we need a number one.
Okay, for the sanctity of ScreamDrafts, and because this is the definitive list of alien invasion films, I'm not going to make chaos
is sanctified.
I'm not going to make chaos completely reign.
Okay.
But I am going to make it rain a little bit.
Oh, come on. Mars Attacks, baby. Number one. Let's go.
All right.
Oh my God, Clay, your reaction, your audible reaction of, oh, right.
It's not as chaotic as it could have been.
That's true. Okay. Here we go. This is the final. We're well past 1 a.m. where Clarke is there on the East Coast. An epic draft fitting of the topic. Thank you so much to Fantastic Fest. We'll talk a little bit about the discards after we conclude the list. But this is the final ScreamDrafts Alien Invasion mini mega list as drafted by Clarke Wolfe, Billy Ray Brewton, and Graham Skipper. Number 11, Evolution. Number 10, Superman 2. Number 9, Little Shop of Horrors, 1986. Number 8, A Quiet Place. Number 7, Bad Taste. Number 6, Signs. Number 5, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978. Number 4, Independence Day. Number 3, The Faculty. Number 2, Cloverfield. And the number 1 alien invasion movie of all time, Graham Skipper, is here to make picks and chew bubblegum, and he's all out of bubblegum. Graham has selected John Carpenter's They Live.
Yeah, look, I mean, we almost had a draft without a Carpenter film on it. I know that a lot of people were hoping for The Thing, but I completely agree with Clarke that while The Thing is eligible, I have always considered They Live to be far more the alien invasion pick.
I did not say that, but
you didn't say it was eligible. Oh, well, my point being is that I think it's technically eligible, but I think that it's not emblematic of an alien invasion movie. I think that it's a movie about an alien that's kind of doing its thing, and if it happens to take over the world, it does. And that's just sort of how it is. They
I
live.
Like that as a new tagline for The Thing. He's just doing his thing.
A really fun paranoia thriller. He provided a great action movie. I think the fight, that fight in the alleyway, is one of the all-time great fight scenes in cinema history. I think he made a very sassy film. I think They Live is really sassy, and is it has a lot.
Dare you pit sassiness against me, Graham Skipper? How dare
you? Gosh, well, I mean, right here I have Rowdy Roddy Piper on my desk. He's right here. I think the acting's fantastic in the movie. I think that it's one of Carpenter's smartest films. I think he's saying a fucking novel with this movie about his feelings about politics and about the way that the world works, and it is all 100% relevant today. And I don't know, this might be the pickle beer talking, but if I have to choose an alternate to my pick of Attack the Block, They Live is 100% the best alien invasion film of all time.
All right, Graham, a conduit for the pickle beer. Speaking on behalf of They Live. I love They Live. It was one that I was always sort of a minor Carpenter for me until we did that Carpenter draft a couple of years ago and I rewatched it. And it is fascinating that it is different from these other movies we've been talking about in that it is not the beginning of the alien invasion. It's not realizing there's an alien invasion happening and doing what you can to stop it. It is someone realizing that the aliens have invaded. They control everything. And there's very little that you can do. A really, really fun movie. And Graham, I agree. It is one of Carpenter's smartest. All right. There's no vetoes left on the board. So we'll go back to that original veto order. Clarke, They Live, ending up at number 1 on the list.
This is so dumb. I mean, this is so stupid. I feel like if you had to choose between The Thing and They Live and you choose They Live, this is a choice. But you know what? As someone who was vetoed in my top 3 realm, and I said, okay, fuck you. I choose Transformers. I'll show you how that feels, how that tastes. I get it. I think there was a clear answer here, and I think that you did not choose it. I'm sorry. John Carpenter's The Thing is in my top 5 favorite horror movies of all time.
Mine too, but They Live is a better invasion movie.
I don't disagree that so for those of you who are listening at home, I did put into chat that I do not feel that The Thing is a great alien invasion film. So I'm fine with leaving that off of this list. However, that does not mean we just have to stick a Carpenter film onto this list. And therefore, I think there are other options. At number 1, I just want the record to show that Graham chose the number 1 alien invasion film was John Carpenter's They Live. What? No, but you know what? Here's the thing. We all get our number 1 picks in my world. So once again, if women are in charge, everyone's happy. But I digress. The point is that Graham, Billy Ray got his pick. I got my pick and you get your pick. And you know what? That is the end of the story. I would not have vetoed Attack the Block. It would not have been my number 1 pick, but I would not have vetoed it. So that is my last commentary. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Okay, mic drop.
Yes.
From Clarke Wolfe. If women were in charge, yes, They Live would not be on top, but much more nefarious forces are in charge of the world, as this film has shown. Billy Ray.
Yes.
Whole bunch of stuff happened in the last couple of picks. You did a veto override of Cloverfield. You vetoed Attack the Block. They Live was the replacement. How do you feel about, I know you love Rowdy Roddy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this at the top of the list?
I put on there.
You're showing us some chicken scratch.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The chicken scratch was the 2 films that I thought Graham might play. One was They Live. The other one was Critters. So I'm okay with it. Like it versus Attack the Block, I'll take They Live every day of the week and twice on Sunday against Attack the Block. 100%. 100%.
Shocking information.
John Carpenter's worst film is better than Joe Cornish's best film. I just said
Disagree.
it.
Strong disagree.
Wow.
Strong
Just said it.
Wow, big words, BR.
Let's be clear. I definitely think that They Live, or not, that The Thing should be number 1 over They Live. I don't disagree with you, Clarke. I think The Thing is a better film. I do think that when it comes to alien invasion films, They Live is a better example of an alien invasion film than The Thing, which is the reason why I did not play The Thing. And I thought about playing The Thing at number 3. I really seriously considered it. I thought The Faculty was a better representation of an alien invasion film than The Thing, which sucks because The Thing has been left off multiple ScreamDrafts lists. And I feel like it's not getting the respect because it is one of the greatest horror science fiction movies ever made, hands down. Yet it keeps getting left off these lists. And I
Billy
feel like
Ray, it only speaks to the greatness of the thing. It's been notably left off of several lists, and it is still on like 4 lists.
yes, but not on the list that it should be.
But
Not on the list that it should be.
That putting it on, saying it was left off the alien invasion list. Well, it invades like 6 dudes. That's not the thing.
But Clarke, you could have played it at number 2, but you chose Cloverfield.
No, because an invasion of 6 dudes versus an invasion of like New York City is not the same convo. Can we agree?
If we're talking about numbers of...
Can we agree that that Cloverfield is a better film than The Thing? No, we cannot agree.
That's not the question.
It's not. If you're saying that Cloverfield is a better alien invasion film than The Thing?
Billy Ray,
yes,
Clarke said...
That is what I'm saying.
Clarke's talking about the number of dudes invaded. Just all of these fucking... This is T-ball, and you're letting them go right past you.
I'm all about the dudes. I'm all about the dudes.
I know, and Billy Ray, you're all about the dudes who are being invaded. But what I am saying is... You can agree that like 6 dudes in South America, in the polar ice caps in the Southern Hemisphere is not the same as New York City being invaded by a kaiju. That's not the same. You can agree with that.
I will agree that it's not the same. I will say this. These are the things I'll say for certain. I am glad that They Live is number 1 over Attack the Block because I think They Live is a horror masterpiece, which I think about a lot of John Carpenter films. I think it is a fantastic film. Would I have played it at number 1? Absolutely not. But am I much happier that it's there over what Graham tried to play in Attack the Block? Yes. So,
and also, Billy Ray, I just got to say, you all should be very thankful because I was seconds away from you were seconds away from having Extra as your number 1 on this list.
I don't even know what that is.
Seconds away.
I know Extra. I would have preferred it over Attack the Block.
Luke has doubled over.
Luke, I knew Luke would like that one.
I have seen Extra as well. I'm surprised Life Force didn't come up. We'll talk about discards.
No, Life Force sucks.
List.
That's why it didn't come up. How dare you play? Life Force is terrible. Don't even say that in my presence. How dare you?
You did very well on our canon draft. Round of applause for Billy Ray, Clarke, and Graham.
Wow, we were all so copacetic and loving each other at the beginning of this.
It was just like an alien invasion. It was just like an alien invasion.
You know what? Pickle beer invaded is what happened.
No kidding. Okay. Well, hey, we did not do commissioner predictions. We'll talk about some discards. I, for one, am a little surprised that we didn't get the OG Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I love the OG War of the Worlds. I think that is a fantastic movie. But otherwise, I love this list. Let's talk about some discards. Who drafted 3rd? Graham did. So Graham, what are a couple discards you had?
The biggest omission from this list is the Spielberg War of the Worlds. I really love that movie. I think it's Tom Cruise's best performance. And I look, we came down to the end and a tiny bit of chaos had to reign. A middle amount of chaos. So that's where They Live came from. But yeah, the Spielberg War of the Worlds. I mentioned Extra. I fucking love Extra so much. It would have been towards the back of the list had I had one of the 10 or 11 picks. I would have done that. And then just real quickly to talk about a movie that I really wanted to play somewhere is the Charlie Sheen picture, The Arrival.
Yes.
Which yes. I think is a good movie, but I especially love it as a time capsule of when Charlie Sheen was like the sexy action star. Especially the scene where his girlfriend is wiping the postcoital sweat off of his back, lovingly standing out on a balcony, just like, wow, this is a whole situation.
That's disgusting.
It's so gross, and it's like a sleazy 90s action thriller that was also a big budget box office thing. It's a wild movie, but those are the 3 that I'll mention. I'm sure that these guys will mention other ones.
All right. Clarke, you drafted second. What are some of your discards?
The biggest one for me was also Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds 2005. I will say that in the strategy of this game, I thought for sure that that was something that someone else had. And kind of, respectfully kind of surprised that given the opportunity, nobody else played it. But also I set everything on fire with my replacement. So I get it. If you feel passionate about something, you do what you do.
Yeah.
But yes, I do think that Spielberg's 2005 War of the Worlds is excellent. And also I think it does fit in with my point, which was about Matt Reeves' Cloverfield and Drew Goddard, and also Cloverfield 9/11. Alien invasion. I think it all matters. I think it's all in the same family. Just saying. Okay, bye.
It's all there. Billy Ray, you drafted first here, last up in discards. What are a couple movies didn't quite make the list for you?
Well, to answer big movie fan in Scener, Fire in the Sky was not eligible. If this was alien abduction films, it probably would have been my number one, but that wasn't eligible, so I couldn't include that. Honestly, War of the Worlds was probably my number one discard. I think
Steven Spielberg as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think it is a terrific science fiction film, but I also think it works as a horror film on a number of levels. And I think it really throws back to what he did so well early in his career as a horror filmmaker, which he very much was. I am shocked that that did not make the list also, but I now understand. Other admissions, I think to me, a grave admission was Edge of Tomorrow or Live, Die, Repeat. I think I'm shocked that didn't make the list. I think that's the best science fiction film of the last quite a number of years, actually.
At least we have Signs on here, guys.
Well, no, Signs I think is better than Edge of Tomorrow, but only barely. Barely.
I brought up Little Shop, but I didn't bring up Rocky Horror. Rocky Horror.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Rocky Horror is technically aliens. And also, I don't like Rocky Horror. I love the music. I want to be very clear. I love the music in Rocky Horror. I do not love the film. Little Shop, I think the film and the music is just like out of this world, no pun intended. And therefore
agreed on all counts.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad we can all because that is why I chose Little Shop and not, but Rocky Horror is an alien film. But can we just maybe it only takes 60 seconds because I know we're late, but the fact that all three of us really love Spielberg's War of the Worlds and none of us wanted to be the one. None of us.
I thought you guys would play it. I thought someone else would play it.
I thought someone else was going to play it too.
It was not me. I told you 100 times it was not going to be me. It was not going to be the thing.
But that said, also I would say Critters, which I mentioned earlier, I think should have been at the bottom towards the bottom of this list, but I think it had a place on there, and also Under the Skin. I think is another film that could have easily been on this list. And I think a lot of people are probably wondering where was Under the Skin. For me, it is so intimate and so personal that it just wasn't necessarily in the forefront of my mind in terms of alien invasion.
Yeah, Under the Skin, it feels like she's on her